Good evening, hello, and welcome to the Sports Corner Festival of Football 2020, and this is it. As I put on Twitter, and then there were four. Now it's three. Of course, last night, the Europa League semi-finals, we had, you could say, a shock to some people that Manchester United went home with an incredible Sevilla win, and now we have the more important game. The more important game for us, of course, an absolutely outstanding fixture tonight as Inter Milan take on Shakhtar Donetsk in what is certainly, for us, a mouth-watering fixture. And joining me tonight for what is going to be a very interesting game of football, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch, we have Kieran. How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Can't wait for the game. How about yourself?
Buzzing for this game. Now, if you don't know, there is a little bit of, I wouldn't say personal history, but history that's built up over the last couple of weeks with this game. These are kind of the two teams that we have been repping before the tournament started. We looked at these two teams as kind of our favourites that maybe would go quite far in this. Of course, I remember you saying about Inter Milan going on and winning this, and they are one game away from potentially winning, well, technically two games, if you include this one, from winning the tournament. And of course, as for Shakhtar, well, the underdog team to many are also just two more games away from what would be an incredible victory. It's going to be a mouth-watering clash tonight. Over the next kind of 10 minutes, we're going to go through our lineups, our predictions, and get ready for what is going to be an incredible game of football. Straight away, I think we've got to ask you about your favourite team, the team that you're supporting tonight, Inter Milan. Do you think that they're going to beat Shakhtar tonight, or is it not going to be as easy as some of the other games they've played?
It won't be as easy. I think everyone has this almost predisposition that this will be a walk in the park for Inter Milan, and it's very similar to the Champions League where people are going, oh, it's Bayern's to lose now, it's Bayern's to lose. People are saying it's Inter Milan's to lose now. But that kind of discrediting always comes with a consequence, as we saw with Lyon. Everyone discredited them. They went and beat Man City. So I think, obviously, I'm going to support Inter Milan, and I'm going to say that they'll have enough on the night. But this will not be, in my opinion, a cakewalk. I think this may be a very high scoring, but a win to Inter Milan.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what we're hoping for. Goals tonight. These are two very, very good sides. And Chris is in the building already. Says, hi, lads. Hope you're both well. Welcome in, Chris. Welcome in, indeed. So, let's go through the lineups, of course. We've just got 9 minutes until kickoff. We're ready, we're raring, we're excited for this fixture. And of course, as you can see on your screen right now, we have the lineup of Inter Milan tonight. They're going to be playing in a 3-5-2 formation. We have, of course, Samir Handanovic in goal. He's the regular goalkeeper for Inter Milan throughout all competitions this season. The back three, of course, of Diego Godin on the left-hand side, De Vrij in the middle, and the young Bastoni on the right-hand side. Of course, we've talked before about Milan Skriniar not playing at the start of most games. Of course, he's on the bench tonight again. A midfield five. On the right-hand side, we've got D'Ambrosio. On the left-hand side, we've got Ashley Young. And in the midfield three, we have Barella, Brozovic and Gagliardini. Up top, Lukaku and Martinez. There are no changes as far as I'm aware from the previous lineup. Of course, they played off against Bayer Leverkusen. Of course, one thing we have talked about before, I don't think we've necessarily talked about it mainly on stream, is Inter Milan's problem to finish teams off. We watched, in fact, it was you who watched the game against Bayer Leverkusen where it was an absolutely incredible tie, but they just couldn't seem to get that definitive edge over Leverkusen to really put them in a comfortable lead. Is it something that might potentially worry them tonight with this very attacking Shakhtar side?
I think their worry might be their goals come from the front two, and I struggle to see anywhere else because Ashley Young and D'Ambrosio aren't exactly the wingers. For example, we look at the wingers of Shakhtar, you know, Marlos is probably a really good goal scorer. I think even Tyson can play out on that wing and he's a good goal scorer too, whereas they are very reliant upon the front two. And for example, if one of them isn't firing, like Martinez hasn't really got his goal scoring flow going yet, they have been very reliant on Lukaku. So God forbid he doesn't have a good night tonight, and they may struggle to really kill off Shakhtar Donetsk. And if the Shakhtar are going to score like they do, I mean, you saw them against Istanbul? No? Basel, thank you. Basel, and they destroyed them. Like, literally, they could not stop them scoring. This is a very different beast to Basel. However, I do agree to the point that if they are struggling in front of goal, I wouldn't bet against this Shakhtar scoring at least one, maybe two. So they do need to score tonight, and they do need to finish Shakhtar off.
Absolutely. Lukaku is now on a 9-game run in a row of scoring in European competitions. That goes all the way back to his days at Everton, of course, which feels like such a long time ago. And of course, as you said, they will be relying on him tonight, as well as Lautaro Martinez, who does need to try and score a goal, get his confidence up. Of course, no doubt he'll be linked with moves with Barcelona a bit more heavily than he has in recent weeks. Now we move on to the other side, of course. We've got Shakhtar as the away side tonight. They haven't lost in their last 15 games, and 6 of those last games have had 3 or more goals in them. They're sticking pretty much with the same lineup as they had in the previous game, 4-2-3-1, starting with the veteran goalkeeper Andrei Piatov in goal, a back 4 of Matvienko, of course, playing on the left-back position once again tonight. Usually does play a centre-back, but the 2 centre-backs are Kochalava and Krychev. Kochalava was actually sent off against Wolfsburg, so he's back in the lineup today. Dodo on the right-hand side. We've got the defensive midfield 2 of Stepanenko and Marcos Antonio, the attacking 3 of Tyson, Alan Patrick and Marlos, and of course up top the formidable striker in Juno Moraes. She's been scoring a lot of their goals in this knockout stages. Now, it's going to be tough to keep them quiet tonight. As I said before, 6 games in a row now where they've scored 3 or more. And they look really, really on form. Of course, all 3 teams left in this competition now have already acquired Champions League status this season, which means whoever does go on to win this, of course, doesn't have to desperately win it to get into the competition. I'm going to ask for your score prediction because we are 5 minutes away from this game, and it is the one I think we're all looking forward to. I think most people probably won't watch this match tonight compared to the other game, but what's going to happen, Kieran? Can you call it?
It's tight. As we say, it's very, very tight. I think that you say that all their games have had 3 goals in them. But that, for me, also, as much as they score goals, it means they concede them as well. So I do see... I mean, if you were both teams to score better, you won't be getting many good odds tonight because the way these 2 play, I won't be surprised. I think I'm going to go... I don't want to... 3-1 to Inter Milan.
3-1. Interesting score. I mean, there's going to be some celebrations for either side tonight. Whoever scores, of course, Kieran L is repping the Inter side. I'm repping the Shakhtar side. It's going to be a little bit more feisty probably than some of the other watchalongs we've done so far. Let's have a quick look at the chat and see what everybody's been saying over the last couple of minutes as we get into this game. Chris Welch has also gone with a 3-1 Inter Milan win. So he's called it perfectly just like you have. Bembo Gaming is in the stream. Welcome, Bembo Gaming. He says Huddersfield Town have signed Danny Ward, the former Rotherham striker. So not too bad for them. Shame he's gone to a Yorkshire rival. And Chris has put Inter Milan or Shakhtar versus Sevilla, he meant, in the final. So he thinks Inter Milan are going to go into that final.
Yeah, I've got a feeling he didn't accidentally write Manchester United. There's something makes me think there were some bad intentions from Chris there. I may be wrong. But I think he's poking the stick.
Gonna have to point at the camera, Chris. Not tonight. Well, actually, no. He's all right tonight because, we're in a position here. We've got our 2 teams who are just coming out right now for this game in Germany, which, of course, Germany right now is the place to be. Of course, the Champions League has still got Bayern Munich in there, as well as RB Leipzig. So it's a fantastic time to not just be somebody who's like a German fan or a Bundesliga fan, but to live there because you've got the Europa League competition still going on and you've still got your clubs in this competition. I'm going to make my score prediction. I think it's going to be 2-2 and we're going to go into extra time. We still haven't had a game that's gone into penalties yet. Still no game.
No.
I wouldn't mind this one be the game.
Oh, I wouldn't. I don't mind seeing 120 minutes of these 2. We were close with Copenhagen and Man United. We were this close, but we are yet. Maybe they're saving it for the final, Josh. Maybe the final is going to end 4-4, and they're going to go to penalties.
You never know. I mean, I wouldn't mind a nice final with a penalty shootout. I don't think we've had one for quite some time now, but the players are out on the pitch. We are, of course, having the Europa League anthem going in the background, so it's just a quick time to say if you are new to the stream, welcome aboard to our watch along tonight. If you are new, of course, as always, do leave a like and a subscription. We've got the other finals, semi-finals still to come in the Champions League over the next couple of days, and of course, the two big finals where everybody will be together. Although maybe Kieran probably not, since his team. He's already said he didn't want to watch the final of this competition, so you can't blame him on that one. But the two managers just having a. The screen's gone blue.
Yeah, right, okay. I thought if it was just me. I'm seeing a very drunk looking.
Oh, well, the signal is gone. And they've gone back to the studio again. Oh, dear. Well, that's a great start. I mean, at least the game hasn't kicked off yet.
No. Sadly, instead of seeing the teams walking out, we're seeing Jake Humphries announce it. I'm glad we were both at the same point, because I got very worried there. I was like, oh, dear. BT has had and there's the just confirmation of the starting 11. I want your opinion, Josh. I think I've asked you this when we were streaming last time, though. Bastoni over Skriniar this season.
It's an interesting one because, Milan Skriniar, if you think of him, theoretically speaking, the name of him is one of the biggest named centre-backs in Italy this season. He's played Bastoni a lot. I don't know whether Conte sees a weakness in Skriniar that doesn't fit his three at the back system, which we know what Conte's like. If you don't suit the system, you're out of the door, basically. I don't mind it, but at the same time, to not play someone like Milan Skriniar is quite bad, in my opinion. But it just shows the depth at the back as well.
I think maybe we're thinking the wrong thing. Maybe instead of us going, is it Bastoni? I'm thinking because Godin came in, but Godin's only getting older, but he has added a bit of experience to that back line, and the likes of Skriniar and Bastoni can learn from the likes of Godin. But I'm surprised Godin started as many games as he has, to be honest. I thought he was just going to be a squad player, but he seems to be one of the first names on the sheet.
He's a perfect fit for the club, isn't he? The vast experience he's had over the last couple of years at Atletico Madrid under an incredible manager. And it's weird because I kind of think to myself, they're very attacking, aren't they? Conte's side, the 3-5-2, you've got the two wing-backs bombing forward, even the centre-backs at times. They don't necessarily push up as much, but they've got to do a lot more defending. And it's weird because Godin's probably so used to a system where he's just had to defend and he's used to these tricky 1-0 wins. And now he's gone to a side that are all about attack. It must be very, very special for him. But we have kickoff. Luckily, picture is back and we're underway with this game. Just
because we doubt anything's going to happen. I will want to say, I don't know about you, I think Godin's been what's happened?
15 seconds in here, the ball's getting kicked out of play. I'm guessing, have we got a deflated ball?
What ball?
I don't know what's happened here. Well, the referee... Yeah, deflated ball. What a start. Well, not only we had the picture cut out before the game's kicked off, we've now got a deflated ball. And he's given a throw in.
Well, I think they're just going to give it back to the goalkeeper, I think.
Just an interesting first minute.
Yeah, trying to figure out here if it is... Right, okay, I'm presuming it's a ball, but what I was going to say was, I don't know about you, I think Godin, at a point, may have been the best centre-back in the world. At a point.
Absolutely.
But never got credited for it.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. You probably look back 3-4 years ago, the Ballon d'Or voting at the time, and I think it was actually around the time when David Luiz was voted up there as one of the best defenders in the world when he was at PSG. It's criminal how vastly underappreciated he was at his time at Atletico Madrid.
I completely agree. And Atletico is still solid defensively, but him and Jimenez struck up a really nice partnership at the back. And I do believe Jimenez now can take that. We were talking the other night, and I think he really can take that mantle from Godin as that next big Atletico Madrid centre-half.
Absolutely. The amount of experience that he's had, he's worked under him for a long time. And I think now we've seen Stefan Savic as well start to get a run of games since Godin's left. And it's kind of like passing the baton over between the centre-backs on, Godin's had that experience, now give it to Jimenez, use Jimenez's experience, give it to Savic. And then whoever comes on next, of course.
Of course, still got Mario Hermoso, who where was he the season before? Was it Espanyol?
Espanyol.
Was he? I can't remember where he was, but he's got he's still quite young in because centre backs. The weird thing is about centre backs, for a centre back, 27 is still quite young for a centre back. It's a bit like
absolutely. It's one of those positions where you can go till you're in your mid-30s and still play. It's a great position. I mean, look at Godin. He's already in his mid-30s himself, and he's still playing at the very, very highest level. But we are 3 minutes, just about to hit 3 minutes into this game. It's been a very stop-start first few minutes because of the deflated ball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like things that disrupt the flow of the game, but luckily there was no game to disrupt the flow of. At that point, it was 1 minute, 10 seconds in, this ball's crap, let's move on.
And then Conte was complaining for a minute, but we're going to have the first opportunity of the game. Long ball, trying to get it towards the path of the front two, Lukaku and Martinez tonight, which the referee is going to give a free kick here to Shakhtar Donetsk. And we've got loads of people in the stream already. 11 viewers. Welcome all of you to the stream. Chris has put, I'll behave myself tonight, lads, as always.
Yeah. I don't want any Inter Milan or Shakhtar hate because they're not Liverpool. I'm not having this, Chris. Not tonight. It's our teams tonight.
I tell you what, Chris has put Pepsi at the ready. You're spot on. You're absolutely spot on.
It's Diet Pepsi. I tell you what, other brands are available.
It's not just a battle on the pitch tonight. Alexis in the stream says, expecting Shakhtar to use their pace and threaten through counters. Absolutely agree with that one. That's the way they've been playing.
Yeah, I think Marlos and Tyson are so dynamic that they can cause any team's problem. And then you've got players like Patrick and Marias who can really, really finish. And that's a lovely flick on that left-hand side by Tyson again. And we've seen it. They were talking earlier before the broadcast about players that come through like Willian and Bernard, all these pacey Brazilian wingers that they have created really and sold on for masses of profit.
Absolutely. It's been a very big long-term project over the last couple of years. You can even say generation now. The whole idea of bringing young Brazilians in, nurturing them, bringing them up. And what a perfect place to do it. Always get Champions League football. Multiple times in the last couple of years, they've been in quarterfinals, semi-finals, and just the vast list of names over the last couple of years. Your Williams, your Douglas Costas, your Freds. It's incredible to see. And even now, I was saying in the last game to Rowan, they're now starting to bring up Ukrainian talent as well. Matavinko, the left back, linked to the Premier League. He's another one of the young future stars that could make it. Yeah,
it's good to see. And they're always going to get Champions League, but I do believe this Europa League is their level. And I do believe that they can be successful at this stage for many years to come if they keep... They're very much in the Ajax mould and in the kind of Borussia Dortmund in the way they get young players, build them and sell them. Obviously not to the success of Borussia Dortmund, but the mentality is the same.
Absolutely. We've got a free kick here for Inter Milan, right on the edge of the box towards the right-hand corner flag. Not necessarily too far towards it. It's just outside the box. This is a good opportunity to whip this in. Lofted in. It's hit low, but it's gone over every player and out for a throw-in.
Lots of pace on that from Brozovic. He needs to take a bit off it. I know maybe because the players are so close to the goal, it doesn't matter if you float that one and let them generate the power themselves because they're not that far away. And they're like Lukaku, brilliant header of the football. But unfortunate there. But it's the first chance, really.
It's good getting a bit of a flow to the game now. And to come back to your point earlier, I think it's absolutely been the perfect season for them. At the end of the day, when they're starting the Champions League, I don't think they ever expected to make the semi-finals of the Europa League. And I think it was a blessing in disguise for them that they actually went into the Europa League.
Yeah, and look, Atalanta competed, and maybe Atalanta staying in the Champions League was better for them. So really, in a way, it was kind of it was the perfect layout, and what happened was best for both teams. And I can't remember that fourth team in the group, but
was it
Zagreb? Was it Zagreb? Yeah,
Zagreb. Yeah.
I think it was always a battle between Atalanta and Shakhtar. Either way, both teams can be happy with the season they've had, and it'll be interesting to see them next year. It depends though, because they're going to have to keep hold of all their star men, and as we saw, Bernard left for Everton more recently. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a few players leave as they build on the right-hand side here.
Marlos into Alan Patrick towards Tyson. It's a poor ball there that goes out of play for a goal kick, and it's just their first kind of opportunity in the 7th minute to try and build an attack. Not really good communication there. Tyson not happy with Patrick for the ball, but first opportunities for either side here. Slowly building into this one.
Yeah, they're not the world's best front four, but the understanding between the four of them is up there with the best in the world in terms of they know where the runs are going to be. They know who to find, and the interlink play between them has been magical at points this tournament.
Absolutely, and talking about link-up play, that wasn't the best link-up play in the world there. No. Trying to hoof a long ball into Martinez. He's saying try and get it more direct into the middle. Of course, the one player, you said earlier, a couple of minutes ago, the one player, if you're going to play long ball tonight, get it to Lukaku. He's the perfect player. It's the little and large, what Rowan said before with these two teams, that Lukaku is the hold-up man, Lautaro is the runner. And it's a perfect system for Inter Milan.
Well, it's interesting now to see whether Lautaro will want to go to Barcelona after the way we saw them, kind of the despair of the other night, an embarrassment the other night. Surely, if I'm Lautaro, I see more of a project at Inter Milan than I do at Barcelona at this current time. I know Barcelona have the pedigree. I don't know what you're thinking on that, but if I'm Lautaro, I'd just stay at Inter Milan until another team comes in, I guess.
I mean, you can look at it in the other way as well and say, of course, we heard all the stuff about Messi potentially leaving Ajax, to looking potentially bringing Suarez back as well, that he could then become the main man up top for them next season as the striker, which could be another way that he looks at it and thinks, well, I am kind of a focal point at Inter Milan right now. And to be honest, Lukaku is the main man, isn't he, right now? Let's be real for them. But if he went to Barcelona, he could be their starting main player. And I know there were some people suggesting, well, if Messi wants to go, why not try and get a swap deal with Lautaro Martinez and two Argentinians swap the other way?
It's an interesting proposition. If Lautaro can get past false nine Vidal, who's currently in that position. So
I'm pretty sure he could. Oh, we're about to the 10th minute here. 0-0 in this game. We're not having the behemoth of goals we might have wanted yet. But of course, remember, both these sides are going to be nervous. Inter Milan, they've never lost to Ukrainian sides ever. Shakhtar, 15 games unbeaten. These are two teams right now at the very highest level, of course. You've got to look at these sides and think, in terms of the knockout stages, these have probably been the two real outstanding sides. Form-wise, of course, Shakhtar scoring the goals, Inter Milan knocking out two of the biggest teams left in the competition in Getafe and Leverkusen.
Yeah, and I think also the winner of this obviously faces Sevilla. And Sevilla need a bunch of credit because they're the last Spanish side left, and they were in with Barcelona, Real Madrid and Atletico, and they're still the last Spanish side remaining. So whoever wins this game, I should say, should not count their chickens before they face that Sevilla side, because last night they were incredible, and the formation they play with the bombing wing backs, facing that against Inter Milan would be really interesting because they both play wing backs that love to go the other way. So one of them's going to have to follow, and it'd just be a really interesting matchup. And as well with Shakhtar, their wingers up against Reguilon and Jesus Navas, just interesting games.
Both games would be fantastic, whether Sevilla do face Inter or Sevilla face Shakhtar. This history between Sevilla and Shakhtar in the last couple of years, they both faced off against each other in a semi-final. And as for Inter Milan, well, what an opportunity to face such an incredible side. Julian Lopetegui's been incredible, tactically organised manager, as is Conte at times. And let's have a quick look at the chat and see what people are saying. Bernaldo is representing Shakhtar tonight. He says, come on, you Shakhtar. Come on, boys. And Chris has put, European finals aren't for everyone, I suppose. Oh, no, he started.
Oh, Chris. Honestly. Should we just... Do you know what? EFL trophies, Josh, they're not for everyone. Now, we've competed in them for years. Not for everyone. Oh,
God. Checker trade trophies, not for everyone, Chris. Here goes Shakhtar. In fact, talking about their fullbacks as well, you can say to a certain extent Shakhtar's fullbacks are quite good at bombing forward as well. Dodo, the Brazilian right back, he's only 23. He's young, got a couple of assists this season. He loves to go forward. Matavenko in the last game, he was bombing forward against Basel, put a couple of good balls into the box. I don't necessarily think they'll be doing as much attacking work tonight against this structurally organised side, but
he's just come forward there and earned a foul. And I tell you what, Josh, I don't know, it might not be in his mind tonight, but we've just seen Simiskas get his move because of his performances on a European stage. We spoke about, I think, when we were last here, if you want to get a move, doing it in your league is okay. But when you put it on the European stage, you're more likely. He might be thinking, this is my time to move to one of the better teams in the world, even to be a backup for a couple of years, because he is young. But he may be playing fancy in a move.
Well, I think he was linked to a move in January to Arsenal, Manchester City. They were both looking at him. He's only 23, 24. He's young. He could play all four positions in the back. He could play left back, centre back, and right back. So perfect depth play. Was pretty much the defensive James Milner to a certain extent in terms of his depth. And he's a great, great player. And I don't think he'll be at Shakhtar for much longer. Here comes Shakhtar on the attack. Clearance.
I think it's important to have, if you do bring him in, that he is that sort of Swiss Army knife and he can really play a matter of positions, because that is so important. Because we've seen as Lautaro nicked the ball there, I thought he was going to start breaking forward, but he didn't manage to. But having a player that can be so useful in a variety of positions, it helps because it ticks more than one box, and then he's always going to be in the match day squad.
Absolutely. I mean, there's two ways you can look at it. You can either go and do what many of the former players at Shakhtar have done and go to another big club, or he could become a legend here. The last legend they had was the fullback, Dario Serna, but here come into Milan the attack. Lukaku storming into the box, but it's such a poor pass from the Belgian, and now Shakhtar can counter-attack. Here comes Marlos, who had a very poor game against Basel. This needs to be a game tonight where he improves, because he was very, very quiet against the Swiss side in that previous match.
I love how the members of the front three can really roam and they can pick up the ball in the middle of the park. I saw Marlos there playing as a right winger, but he drifts inside. Same with Tyson on the left. It makes it so difficult for defenders to track who they're marking.
Here comes Dodo.
What's made Shakhtar so good this tournament is just defenses haven't been able to handle the movement.
Exactly. It's so hard to watch where these players are going to go. You cannot organise your players exactly to where that front four is going to go. I mean, Junior Moraes, of course, you always expect him to be there, but Marlos, Tyson, and Alan Patrick, they're just moving all the time into the open spaces. And for a back three of Inter Milan, it could work out perfectly for them. There's going to be a lot more space. You've got D'Ambrosio and Ashley Young, who are going to be a little bit further forward at times. And they are starting to get a bit of a feel for the ball here. First kind of real spell of possession, I'd say, for them in this first 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think overall it's been quite sloppy in possession from both sides. I think a lot of the game's been played in that middle section of the park, giving the ball away. But if you can get some sustained pressure and maybe build very slowly towards the goal.
Absolutely. One goal in this could open it up, which is, I think, what we're looking for right now. And it'll be a bit of nerves as well. Be a little bit of nerves, of course, as I said before. Inter Milan, they've already got Champions League football next season, as do Shakhtar Donetsk. But these two sides will want to win the trophy. And, of course, remember, a place in the Super Cup. I know the Super Cup, to many people, they look at it and think it's a Mickey Mouse trophy. I bloody love the competition. And I tell you what, whoever goes through and wins the tournament, it's going to be a cracking Super Cup game, because it could be potentially a Bayern or a PSG in that final.
Yeah. And we say how much the Europa League has improved over these last years means it's never a foregone conclusion who's going to win. Back in the day, you kind of, whoever won the Europa League, you were kind of like, yeah, but the Barcelona with Xavi and Iniesta, they're not going to beat them. Whereas now, I think you put any of these three sides and they'll give maybe everyone but Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich are so bloody good at the moment. A real good game.
Absolutely. I mean, you've only got to look at last year. I know, obviously, they were both in the Premier League, but Liverpool and Chelsea, very tough game of football. Went down to penalties, didn't it, that game, I think? Or a very late goal, either way.
No.
It was penalties.
Yeah, Tammy Abraham missed his penalty, got a barrage of abuse for unnecessary reasons, and then Liverpool won the Super Cup. That's kind of the story of it.
And that's the thing, it's such a tight game, and Alexis put it perfectly. Anybody who calls the Europa League a Mickey Mouse trophy is a small, entitled brat who isn't a football fan. And I tell you what, the Europa League, the quality of this competition over the last, I would probably say 10 years, has improved massively.
Yeah. I agree. And I don't know about you, I'm kind of excited about the introduction of Euro Cup too. I'm actually kind of excited for it. I don't know if we're going to have a super duper cup between the Champions League and the Euro Cup. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm kind of excited because teams like in this, I know Lask Linz made it out of the group, but for them to have a safety blanket to fall back to, I think that will just improve the Europa League even more, and we're just going to have fantastic European ties when the world get back to normal.
Absolutely. It's going to get a lot more competitive. I mean, there's still going to be some good, some great sides in Euro Cup too. And there'll be a lot of people out there when it does start who'll probably look at it and think, oh, it's just another Mickey Mouse trophy. But this is such a good competition. I mean, for anybody who's been sat at home these last couple of weeks and months, you cannot say after all the time we've had out of football that this hasn't been such an incredible tournament. Oh, Piato's made a poor pass here.
Barella's down the wing. He's crossed it in. Lautaro heads. It's in.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's just like that out of nowhere. Inter Milan have taken the lead, and he's that man who we've been talking about at the start of the show who hasn't really done much in this tournament so far. And Conte, he's calm, he's composed, but Lautaro Martinez isn't, because he's got the goal in that game, and Inter Milan are 1-0 up after nothing. Piatov, poor work there.
The most experienced member in this Shakhtar Donetsk team can't be making mistakes like that. It's a terrible ball. Barella does really well to skip past his man to the wing, gets a lovely chipped ball in. It's over Lukaku, but Lautaro's there. Great movement to get in front of the centre half and head home fantastically. We called it little and large, but Little's got the header.
Absolutely. I mean, it's an outstanding header. He watches that ball. He moves into the space, and there's no chance Piatov is going to save that. And you can see the half-arsed kind of dive towards the ball. He knows he's not going to get there. And Conte, you can see him right now if you're watching the game alongside us, is a small celebration, not the usual Conte screaming and shouting that you'd expect. He knows that we're only 20 minutes into this, 1-0. What a start for Inter Milan.
It is an absolutely fantastic start, and that's the movement of an elite striker there with Lautaro Martinez, and they are coming again. Barella volleys it. It's fell to Lautaro again. He's crossed it in, and I tell you what, could this be floodgates for Shakhtar Donetsk? They really need to get a sustained spell of pressure right now, as D'Ambrosio has been cut.
Yeah, no, it's worrying times here for Shakhtar. It could be a case of what happened with Wolfsburg, where the floodgates do open. My stream's a little bit further behind. What's yours on right now? I'm just hit 20 minutes.
20:05.
2 seconds behind. It'd be all right. But yeah, no, it's one of those where it could get a little bit more nerve-wracking right now. The floodgates could open indeed. But yeah, this I think spell here where they've just stopped playing might help them out a little bit.
If you're Shakhtar Donetsk, you don't want a quick succession of goals. We saw it against Leverkusen when they got two in quick succession. Leverkusen got one back and was able to build on that. But if Shakhtar go 2 down quite quickly, it'll be a real test of character for this young side to try and go forward.
Absolutely. We've got a goal kick, of course. It's going to be tough now for Shakhtar. 1-0 down in this game. 20 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock here in this match. Could the floodgates open in this one? Looking at the comments right now, Bernardo's put my stream's acting shy. I can't watch anymore. Oh no, have you got Virgin Media as well?
Just watch us. We are elite commentator. It's just as we say it is.
I mean, Chris has put, you must have Wi-Fi from Manchester, Ronaldo. Shakhtar.
Hold up a minute.
Attack.
I'm from Manchester. What are you doing?
Into Matvienko on the far left. Lovely bit of work there, but tight marking from Inter Milan means that they can clear their lines. It's going to go out for a throw in, not in the most attacking of areas for Shakhtar to be able to get an opportunity on goal, but they can pass this round and maybe open up some space here to get an equaliser in this one.
Yeah, I think they're just happy to have a little bit of possession, stop Inter Milan coming forward for now, let the game settle back to the pace it was before, and just make sure they can get to half-time without them being 2 or 3 down.
I mean, I've got to say, compared to what we've seen so far, disappointing start here for Shakhtar. They look very nervous, as you'd expect them to be, of course. It's their biggest European run in recent history.
Tyson. Oh, it's a brilliant defended by De Vrij, but he's not quite cleared it, and it's back to Tyson.
He's bombing down that left-hand side. He's trying to get in towards the middle. Tyson still going. He's got the ball back. There was being defended there from De Vrij, but he couldn't get the ball away. He tries to move it into the middle. Now it's laid off to Marlos on the right-hand side. He's just outside the box. Can he use his skills? Takes his time. Now onto the far right to Dodo, who's overlapping run. It's a poor cross, but he comes back to the feet of the Brazilian right-back. Marcos Antonio into Alan Patrick. And it's just a little bit of slow build-up play right now for Shakhtar. They're taking their time.
Yeah. I think I'm going to let you take the commentary because I am ahead. So I'm going to let you take the commentary. But as we say, go on.
I don't know why it's gone behind. I don't know how he's done it because I've not had any pauses. But
no, I'm not sure. But Shakhtar starting to get some intricate play going, around that area, probing with Marlos and Tyson. Unlucky. But they're getting a bit of a spell here, and they've looked better since the goal went against them. They've kind of come out of the shell, and maybe they were feared before, but now the pressure's on them to get the goal. They're really playing some nice stuff.
Absolutely, but you can play on all this nice stuff. They need a goal. Marlos, he's about 30 yards out here. Maybe an opportunity for a chance. It's been a large spell of opportunities for Shakhtar. It's into Dodo on the far right-hand side. There's going to be opportunity to cross in. It's a poor ball. I mean, there's the problem right now. Inter Milan, their link-up play has been good so far. As for Shakhtar, the players don't seem to know where each other's going right now. Just very disorganised in this first 20 minutes. Yeah. And there's a lot of work to do for them right now.
I have reset my stream, so I just want to know on your timer what time it is, because I've tried to go off and back in again, typical technical things.
I'm on 24 minutes, 1 second, 2 seconds.
2, 3. Let's go, Josh.
Oh, yes, go on. Oh, beautiful. Let's hope it doesn't try and fuck us over this time. But if you are wanting to watch along with us, we're right now on 24, 15, 16. So sync yourselves up and you can see our reactions as this game goes on.
Yep, we have synced ourselves up and we are now, so we can commentate together, which is nice.
Perfect. I mean, Benalda's put as well, Shakhtar, they can score today. As to how many is to be determined. But I think it's more to how Inter Milan defend rather than determination, because this back line for Inter Milan is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. That back three, they know the system. Everyone knows the job. And maybe when Inter Milan try and play out from the back, they can have a lot of success with the high press, which they have done here. The ball has actually fell to Lautaro in the end. But, if they keep high press, they may be able to prey on a mistake at the back by one of the players.
Well, as you said there, Handanovic nearly gave the ball away. It's a lofted ball into the box towards Lukaku, who was stumbling. He wasn't able to get the ball. Bastoni, he's got to throw in here for Inter Milan. But it's been a very good first 25 minutes, I think, for Inter Milan here. It's very calm. They've not had to do a great deal here to test this Shakhtar side. And, of course, it was that mistake from Piatov that's given them the goal.
Yeah, I think more than anything, they've been very professional about their job. It does feel like Inter Milan have been on this European stage many times, and they have. They know how to run these games, and it just seems like a very professional performance so far, taking advantage of a Shakhtar that hasn't quite kicked into full gear just yet.
Not yet, no, but we've got another opportunity for Inter Milan. It's cleared away, and it's hit the side netting. Oh, it should be 2-0. Talk us through it, Kieran, because, my lord, it really should have been 2.
Well, I'm not sure what happened because Bastoni was on the wing. He whips it in with the left-hand side. First, Lautaro dives at the whipped ball. It's in that corridor between defender and goalkeeper. Lautaro dives at it. He misses it. And Lukaku and D'Ambrosio go for it together. And it hits D'Ambrosio, I think, and it's going out. Lautaro tries to get it on the volley, but by that point, it's already out of play. What an opportunity.
Such a good opportunity.
I think D'Ambrosio had his name in lights. He thought he was going to get on the end of it, and Lukaku must be fuming.
Well, you could see with Lukaku's reaction there, he was down on the floor, took him a few seconds to get up. He knows that had D'Ambrosio not got in the way there, it would have probably been 2-0. As for Lautaro Martinez, his shot was always going to hit the side net. In a really awkward angle for him to get his shot into the goal. And, well, Inter Milan, it could come back to bite them.
Yeah, it could. We saw this. I remember the game against Leverkusen with Barella, where he had half the net to aim at, and he aimed at the place where the only place the defenders were standing. So we said they need to kill teams off, and opportunities like that just can't go begging all the time.
Absolutely, indeed. Chris has put get them subs and likes up for this fantastic channel. Bananas put that as well. Thank you, lads. And if you are new, of course, as always, do leave a like and a subscription. I don't like to batter it down your throats, but we're going to have a free kick here for Shakhtar.
Oh, that's a fantastic tackle. I disagree with the referee there. It's a very hard challenge from Golden. He studs out up, but he gets the studs on the ball. It's a fantastic challenge. It's a very Golden is from a time of yesteryear, and you can tell with a challenge like that. I think that was perfect, but in modern game, bit harsh.
Yeah, bit harsh, that one. Completely got the ball. And unfortunately, with the way that the game is right now, those types of tackles, they're trying to wean them out of the game. And it's a shame because, as you said there, it's spot on. And it's really, really poor from the referee. I disagree with that decision. But Shakhtar trying to play out from the back here. Piatov deciding this time to just hoof the ball up long rather than trying to pass it in short. It has come to the Shakhtar attack, and it's Marlos who, once again, has been quite quiet in this first half an hour. He's had a couple of opportunities to build attacks for the away side, but nothing really crucial coming yet from the Ukrainian team. No major chances. Maybe we can get one now.
Very similar to the Basel game, Josh, where I think it was the Basel game where you were saying we'd seen nothing of Junior Mariah. Oh, it was the game we did together where you did Shakhtar, and we saw nothing of Junior Mariah, and before we knew it, he'd scored 2. It
was the Wolfsburg one. It's
Wolfsburg.
Here they come now. Marlos, 30 yards out from goal. Feeds it into Tyson in the middle. He's gone down. No request for a free kick, but he's got the ball back, and this time it's hoofed away. I think that was De Vrij, but it's come back to Shakhtar again, and you can see this defensive back line has just opened up because Dodo scored a fantastic ball. This could be an opportunity. He's fed it towards Junior Mariah, and he just can't put it into the back of the net. I disagree with you. I don't think it's a penalty. I think that was a pretty decent tackle, in my opinion, from him. I mean, the ball towards Dodo, it's a lovely touch from the Brazilian fullback. He's dancing. He's laid it off to Junior Mariah. And looking at that, some referees could give that as a penalty, but I think it might have been a little bit harsh.
It's got to be checked. I think when I first saw it, I'm wondering if he got a touch on the ball, but because it's a corner, that is under the presumption he must have got a touch on the ball, and that's a terrible corner, as it doesn't make it past the first man, De Vrij, who gets it clear. But that was much better. That switch of play to Dodo on the right-hand side, in behind Ashley Young, was magical.
And it proves that this back line, with it being a free at the back of the two fullbacks pushing forward, it proves that they can do that, and they'll have plenty of opportunities to hit it long to the wingers and the fullbacks tonight, because there's going to be space, especially if they can get an equaliser in this game. Both teams are going to have to go for it.
Yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic move, and that is a glimpse at what Shakhtar can do to teams from defence to attack in a matter of moments. And that is really the best thing they've created so far. And we were waiting for that one chance for Junior Mariah. He got it there. He was unlucky. It was a brilliant block by Stefan De Vrij. But more of that from Shakhtar, and they'll really fancy the chances.
Absolutely. It's been a very good game so far in terms of both teams. They've looked nervy, and you can see that both sides, they are very open to potential attacks. Of course, we've just seen there Inter Milan with their backline a little bit more open than they'd like it to be. And I think there will be more goals in this game.
Yeah, as Lukaku tries to switch it past the centre-back. Centre-back does really well to get that back to Piatov. But again, he's very risky with the playing out of the back style. They're not as accomplished as Inter Milan. Inter Milan have been very efficient with how they've got the ball out of the back, whereas I don't know about Shakhtar to you, Josh, but they look very nervy when they pick it up at the back.
Absolutely. It's the back line that's a little bit worrying right now. Probably Piatov more than anyone, who's been a little bit of a nervy player on the pitch. Chris has asked us, how have Shakhtar done in their league? They finished top of the league. They only lost 2 games all season. In fact, I think they won by about 25 points last season. As you'd expect them to, of course. They're a quality side. I think their only technically opponent, you could say, is Dynamo Kiev. Which, of course, they finished second. In fact, I've got the table up now. Dynamo Kiev finished on 59 points. Shakhtar Donetsk finished on 82 points. So no battle there this season. And Alexis put it perfectly. They win it in the league every year except a few.
Yeah. It's very much a one-team league. The Europe is really where they want to thrive. D'Ambrosio won't reach that. No, sadly not on the right-hand side. But as we've said, with teams like the French teams almost, that we believe that there is always an air that they're not ready for these European nights because they have no challenge week in, week out. The same could be said for Shakhtar, but they have turned their level up for this tournament, I truly do believe. And it's time to respect some of these smaller leagues who are producing really good talent and really good teams. It's got to be a foul.
And it's got to be, surely. Yeah, I said right before the tournament started that I think Shakhtar would have been one of the dark horses, one of the more underappreciated sides, you could say, in this competition. They've been fantastic, and they should be proud of themselves because even if they don't go through tonight, semi-final, it's the one of the best runs they've had in recent history. It was a couple of years ago where they actually made the semi-finals and lost to Sevilla, which is why a final against Sevilla would be very interesting because these two sides, when they actually faced off against each other, Sevilla and Shakhtar, both games ended with a fair amount of goals in them. So I'd like to see that. But it's been a fantastic tournament for them, and they should be very proud.
Yeah, they have. And I think the teams they've faced, even Wolfsburg, I would have put, money on Wolfsburg because Wolfsburg come from a more accomplished league. And by themselves, standards, Wolfsburg have had a good year as well. But they completely sweep through them with relative ease. They swept past Basel. And but it's a great knock on by Lukaku, and Barella is coming down the right again. He goes to volley it straight away. And Pyatov tips it over. And just like that, though, they need to keep their concentration, Shakhtar, because one more and it could be lights out for Shakhtar Donetsk.
Absolutely. I mean, there's not much he could do there with the opportunity. He's just got inside the box on the right-hand side. No plays in the box to cross it into. It's a lovely half volley, but it's a simple save for Pyatov. And Inter Milan have got a great chance here. They've got some very tall players in the box.
Yep. Experienced people, Godin, De Vrij, fell to Barella, who goes for that corner, and Lukaku as well, obviously a very, very good header of the ball.
Fortunately, this time doesn't come to anything, though, and it's gone all the way back to Handanovic, who, of course, hasn't really had much to do so far against this Shakhtar side, and with just about 10 minutes left, with a little bit of additional time, Inter Milan are 1 foot away from a final against Sevilla.
Just that one chance from Junior Moraes, and we've not seen anything really of goalmouth action from Shakhtar since then.
Yeah, it's been disappointing. I think Luis Castro will not be happy with his Shakhtar side right now. He'll want a lot more out of them. Just looking so nervy at the back, and it's another poor ball that's come to the feet of Ashley Young on the left-hand side. What can he do here? They've got players in the box that they can loft it towards, and they're just going to take their time and pass it round. Gagliardini into Ashley Young again. And is there an opportunity here for Inter Milan? Not this time. Poor touch from Lautaro Martinez.
I think everything from Shakhtar looks a little bit rushed, whereas Inter Milan are really slow and patient and finding gaps. And even with Shakhtar's counter here, Tyson picks it up and sprays it wide to Marlos. Forgot his name. Cuts inside.
You can see this is the area where they're struggling to get the ball in there. You can see what I was saying before. You could see the area where they're struggling to. They're really struggling to get into that final third into the box. They're very tight right now, Inter Milan, on all of their players. In fact, very tightly marked. Junior Moraes has been in this first 35 minutes, and they can't quite seem to get the ball into the Ukrainian. And Inter Milan's defensive work tonight has been absolutely spot on against this Shakhtar side.
Yeah, they've not given Moraes an ounce of space. We saw before with De Vrij giving away the foul. He's right up next to him. He's touch tight. He's not allowing Moraes to have space, time, or really dictate the game at all. And Inter Milan have really outmaneuvered Shakhtar in this first half.
Absolutely, and it's not a convincing ball away. It's, Pyatov's just had to come running out of his goal. Lukaku trying to bomb forward, get that second goal in the game, and Pyatov's cleared his lines, but it's not the most convincing clearance in the world. In fact, he's tried to go short to one of his fullbacks, Mativenko, who's then just kind of had to desperately clear it away. Not good from the goalkeeper tonight. He looks very, very worried, which is not good from a veteran player who's you'd expect to be the one who's the most calm.
Well, I think it's going to be a ripple effect because the guy's the captain, he's a leader. And if he's nervous, it's just going to affect every single person on the pitch. And sadly, it did come from his mistake. And I think they do need to regroup in the second half and try and find a better way to attack this Inter Milan side.
Absolutely. It's been very disappointing first 40 minutes for him here. The game plan of the counter-attacking just hasn't worked because of how good this back line has been so far, Alex has put. Considering that the political situation there is terrible and that half the teams depend on Shakhtar and Dinamo loaning out all of their youngsters so they can complete their squad, the fact the league is still okay and taking place is a miracle. You're very right on that one.
Yeah, it's a fair point, and hopefully this is kickstarts for an improvement in Ukrainian football, as you say, Josh. The fact that they're bringing through youngsters now from the country, hopefully we can see a success for that country for years to come.
And I mean, you can see the Ukrainian side now, of course, made it into the Euros. They beat Portugal on the final day of qualifiers, which was a fantastic result for the country. And they're starting to build a good project there, Ukraine, and they're a tough side to play against. I mean, it's not just players from the actual country itself playing there. Of course, we've got the likes of Malinovsky at Atalanta, for example, Yarmolenko at West Ham. Although he's not the most exquisite player in the world, he's still one of Ukraine's better players. They've got a good dynasty building.
Yeah, but it's been a while since we've been able to say that, really, since maybe the Andrei Shevchenko days, which were a while ago now.
Absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see what they're like at the Euros next season. Of course, that'll be the pivotal thing we'll be keeping an eye on next season. When that happens, of course, we'll probably have a hell of a lot of watchalongs and everything for that next year. But in terms of this game, 40 minutes in, if you're an Inter Milan fan right now, you're absolutely delighted with how your team's played.
Yeah, they haven't really put a foot wrong. Yes, a little bit sloppy, but there's been no chances for Shakhtar Donetsk. You haven't allowed their attackers in the game. You've allowed them to have the ball in areas where it's not going to affect you. And they're allowing him to have it, in that area just in front of the halfway line. And that's the only bit they've really been dictating the play.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see Conte, the master tactician that he is, that is just barraging his players to move into certain positions, close down this Shakhtar attacking, of course, front four. But, of course, his job was on the line to a certain extent. He was seen pictured with the owners a few days ago. They want to talk, of course, after this tournament is over about his future at the club. It looks a lot more better in this last couple of days, doesn't it, with the future of Conte? He's been a bit more quiet about his future.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair, they'd be stupid to let him go. I know ideally they wanted to win the league, and of course all these teams are chasing Juventus, but I truly believe that if they win this tournament this year, the game's obviously still not over yet, but we'll talk hypothetically. If they're to win this tournament here, a successful league campaign, another year in the Champions League, he's not spent money in the wrong places. Most transfers they've had have been successful. So exactly. the money they've spent's done well. So I think they'd be stupid to not back Antonio Conte, because again, he's come to another club and been successful.
It's a poor ball that's given away to Shakhtar here, and it's poor again, just rushing the ball. As you said before, it's a little bit too quick. They're trying to desperately race into the box, and although this is how Shakhtar have played against other sides, it's very, very hard to break down this pressing Inter Milan team. You can, as you said before, it's just outside the box. They're struggling to get it in towards the path of Junior Moraes, and all really this last 40 minutes has been is Marlos, Tyson and Alan Patrick just stuck about 25 yards out from goal, trying to find the open space that Godin, Bastoni and De Vrij are closing down.
And every single Inter Milan player is in their own half when defending. So they just are not allowing any space or any gaps. They had one chance in between Ashley Young, which they've just gone for now, and it's petered out. But that's the only time they've managed to find a single gap behind that Inter Milan defence, and it came really to nothing. So a solid job so far from Inter Milan. And this isn't the game we expected, I don't think, going in. Very like a chess match almost, this one.
Yeah, it's a very organised performance, very similar to Sevilla last night. They aren't having to really push themselves so far into Milan because Shakhtar look shaky, just like how Manchester United did yesterday. Attacking wise, they've not been convincing. Of course, you've got to remember that the goals come from a mistake, and realistically speaking, they have had other opportunities as well to maybe close this game off a little bit more, but it's going to need a big team talk from Luis Castro at half-time, unless they can get something here, because they're on the attack. Marlos into Alan Patrick. Now to Antonio. Tyson once again stuck. Although Marlos is in the box now. Lays it off. Maybe an opportunity. Some tight defending. You can see Lautaro Martinez coming back to defend against Tyson and Marlos. They just can't do anything.
There is 8 people in and around the box with a blue shirt. That is, and Lukaku's just coming back now. There is no man within 15 yards of the centre circle for Inter Milan. They're all defending, moving side to side. One shot. Oh, and
maybe that's what they need to do.
Yeah, that at least it's an opportunity, and it's the closest they've come. But I mean, this is an unbelievable defensive performance from Inter Milan with Lukaku and Martinez literally camped inside their own half. Antonio went for the strike. It was just over the bar. So it's the closest they've come.
Absolutely. And that's what I mean. Maybe it is going to have to be tonight that they take a couple of long-range efforts on test Handanovic, because he's not had much to do so far in this game. And maybe you can just slightly get him to, call him out with opportunities on goal. We saw Kai Havertz in that game against Leverkusen with a near-post effort that Handanovic couldn't save. And he's not had a great deal to do in this tournament so far. Rowan is in the stream, says just got back who scored. It was a certain Lautaro Martinez with the goal. And Kieran put, we played very well yesterday going forward, just the question of finishing, touch and defensive naivety. But I'd say that's the same problem that Inter Milan have had, not defensively wise, but attacking wise. It's that finishing, the clinical teams that can finish other clubs off. And of course, tonight, they've been fantastic so far, and it's Shakhtar who've got to do the work.
Yeah, when it's not that front two, they find it very difficult to score. If one of them got injured, I think they'd find it really, really hard to kind of to blow teams away. And I do believe that this Inter Milan side, I think, I don't know about you, Josh, I think midfield-wise, they may need another name in there, because Christian Eriksen doesn't start, which is a surprise, but he's not really, I don't know why they bought him, because he's not really a Conte midfielder, because he doesn't have that attacking midfielder like Christian Eriksen. But where do you think they need to improve? Because they want the swap deal with Lautaro and Messi, but we'll say that doesn't come off because Messi is just Barcelona through and through. Where do this team improve? Because for me, it's midfield and fullbacks. That's what they need.
Well, the thing is that they pretty much already sorted the fullback problem. Hakimi coming in next season on the right fullback position. Fantastic player. There's a minute of additional time, by the way. Attack-wise... left back probably is the position that needs to be sorted a little bit more. I think Ashley Young's all right, but they can get better.
I was thinking, do you know, I've always thought that the wing, this is, again, a bit of an out there concept, but the wing backs of Norwich are really good going forward, but not very good defensively, like the likes of Max Aarons and Jamal Lewis. Could you find Jamal Lewis going to Inter Milan? I know it'd be a big step for the young lad, but...
I mean, it's one of those where Conte's very set in his players and who he wants. So, of course, they've been heavily linked with Emerson of Chelsea and Marcos Alonso, which he already knows Marcos Alonso at his time at Inter, and I think he'd be a fantastic fit for them. You know, in Italy, he's going to be able to attack a little bit more, which is what we know Marcos Alonso for. As for Emerson, coming back into Italy again, I think they're two great fits. But we are at half-time now of this game, by the way, and 45 minutes away from a potential final here, Inter Milan. Shakhtar, yes, they've got some work to do in the second half.
They do indeed. I mean, it was one of them, a little bit like the Atletico Leipzig first half with me and Rowan, where we had to find talking points out of not very much, because, as we say, Josh, Shakhtar have had a lot of the ball, but in not threatening positions, and that long shot from Antonio, for me, sums up the way that Shakhtar have had to play. In and around the box, trying to find gaps, but nothing's there. So that shot from Antonio is it's kind of the closest they've come in terms of Inter Milan. they haven't really created much either. They had that one golden opportunity with D'Ambrosio and Lukaku with a whipped ball into box, and their success has come from getting it down the wing and crossing it into the box and using Lautaro's movement and Lukaku's height to cause problems, but not the best first half.
No, I think these are two sides that are a little, not necessarily massively nervy, but this is a game right now where whoever switches off will let the other team potentially go through and score. And I think, if anything, it's probably Shakhtar and Donetsk who are more likely to kind of switch off than Inter Milan are. We've seen a couple of opportunities where Piatov's given the ball away a couple of times. And as we said before, that opportunity with Lukaku and D'Ambrosio both getting in the way of each other. It's going to be an interesting halftime team talk because I don't think Conte will exactly be happy. I think he'll be frustrated with his front line not doing a great deal. And as for Luis Castro, they had quite a lot of the ball in that, just outside the box of Inter Milan's half, but not really getting anything so far. And maybe it could be a very different game at halftime because Inter Shakhtar, they've got to go for it. Inter Milan, I think they'll probably be thinking about getting another goal themselves.
Yeah, I think a very long feeling out process. Usually feeling out processes last 10, 15 minutes. I think ours lasted 45 because it was very, very kind of, if you're watching a boxing match but no one throws a punch, that's kind of what watching that was like a little bit during the first half. There was no cutting edge to either team, which before the game we rant and raved about both teams cutting edge, but there's been none. And maybe in the second half, some substitutes might change the game, but we've spoke, Josh, and there hasn't really been an entertaining first half apart from Bayern Munich, Barca. Every game's kind of gone this sort of. Do you think these teams are scared to lose because it is one leg?
Yeah, I think a lot of teams would have played very tactically different had these games been two legs. I know there's been a lot of talk from a couple of big European clubs about potentially having this as a permanent system of one-leg games. And, a couple of days ago I said I'd like these games to be one-legged, but in actual fact I've kind of sat back and watched a couple of games back, watched a couple of highlights of games. I'd rather, to be honest, prefer it to be just two legs naturally. I know for underdogs, it's better to it to be one leg. You're more likely to go through in a one-leg game than a two-leg game, which is why a couple of clubs, of course, are saying about it. No doubt it will probably be the likes of the Lyons and Leipzig who will be kind of pushing towards having this system next season. But as you've said before, first halves have been very nervy and a lot of goals. In fact, the majority of games have had goals right at the very death because teams are having to push forward frantically in the hope that they don't go into extra time. With two-leg games, of course, if you do lose 1-0 in that first leg, you've got another 90 minutes to press on and push forward and maybe turn it around. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to ask people in the chat as well. Do you prefer these one-leg games, or would you rather it go back to the two-leg system? Because there are talks about maybe one-leg games being the future.
I think it's difficult because both have their merits. I think my first thing is scrap the away goals rule. I think that's crap. I hate the away goals rule, be it, I know obviously with one leg it wouldn't matter, but with these two-legged fixtures, I don't like away goals at all. But these games, we thought, I think me and you both thought, and probably the other lads at Sports Corner, that this would really be high-paced, one game to seal your glory, go and take the game back from there. Whereas it's more been teams going, let's wait, let's make sure we're still in the game come 70, 80 minutes, and then all systems go for 10 minutes. And that's, whereas in a second leg of a game when you're 2-0 down, it has to be all systems go from minute one because there's no backup plan. So there's positives to both, but I think single leg fixtures, what would be difficult is, Josh, this is being played at a tournament in Germany. If these were for the future, we go to a single location, that would just make it more difficult for fans to kind of.
I mean, the problem is as well is that it's the whole thing of home advantage as well. Or does that mean then every game would have to be played in a neutral venue? Because you can't just say, I don't know, for example, take the Bayern game against Barca. You can't just say Barcelona are going to play home in a one-leg game, which is exactly what Bonaldo's actually just put. He's put one where can be too much of a home field advantage. Exactly. So then you'd have to organise tournaments in neutral venues, which then means you'd have to change the tournament around because you can't have clubs having to, and let's say these games were being played in Germany next year, you can't have clubs going back and forth to Germany every couple of weeks on top of their league games as well.
And I don't think it's fair on fans either. I don't think fans should have to, because for example, if you're a season ticket holder, you can get the Champions League. I'm sure there's a Champions League option. You get every single game and you get to go to it all the way lead up to the final. Whereas if every other week, if you want to follow your team, you've got, do you know what it'll come? It'll become literally neutral, like the FA Cup always gets slated for that neutral section in the middle that everybody hates. I don't want that to come into European football because fans spend enough money as it is. They'd have to get a flight to this neutral location. They'd have to then buy tickets to this neutral location. And it just, I think the logistics would be very difficult to upkeep.
It's the whole thing as well. You can look even further. TV revenue for clubs. Some clubs would lose out on that. As you said, fans, ticket sales would probably be a lot harder because, as you said, fans aren't going to want to, especially go to these neutral venues every couple of weeks to watch the team play. And I think as well, two-leg games, you just don't get as much excitement in a one-leg game as a two-leg game because we haven't had a comeback yet. There's not been a comeback realistically in a game where a team's gone 2 goals down or something like that, and a team's come back. While with the two-leg games, we've seen it year after year, teams going 2 or 3 or 4 goals down in certain, to a certain extent, and then in the second leg, whether they're home or away, tearing it up and giving us these incredible European nights. You look at Dortmund and the Malaga game years ago, the Spurs Ajax game. You're very unlikely to get that in a one-leg match.
I mean, look at last year. I have never seen a Champions League as good as last year, and most of them games happened in a second leg. So these nights are good. I mean, look at the PSG one the other day. That was fantastic. But not every game is that way. We've seen very much a little bit of kind of 1-0 defend the lead. Yeah. We're done. And it is very difficult. There is positives though for obviously a one-legged game, but you'd have to really make it the perfect storm for it to become the normal in the future, I think.
Well, that's the thing. The most important tactic for any team in this tournament has been defence, not attack. You look at some of the games that have gone on. The reason why Basel made it through so much was because they're consistently keeping clean sheets. You look at the Copenhagen game against Man U. It was a defensive performance that nearly paid off. Or other teams that have come into it, Getafe, they're very good defensively organised, but it wasn't enough. Attacking wise, we haven't, apart from the Bayern Munich game, we've not had a game where there's been goals galore.
I think that is one benefit of the away goals rule, because even when you're away from home, your first thought isn't defence, because if you get a away goal, you've got that advantage, so it promotes scoring goals. And that's, I'm going to just reference the UFC quickly. They brought in performance of the night bonuses, so people tried more and didn't just try and win by points. So it kind of forces people to play a more expansive style of football and give fans more entertaining games, where with these, you don't have to worry about away goals. You don't have to worry about scoring away goals. So most teams have just thought, let's not go out before let's go through. Apart from Bayern Munich, of course, I would say.
Absolutely. They're the exception on this one. But I'm looking forward to next season, of course. It's going back to the whole situation of the two-legged games, which I know the tournament starts later this year. I think it starts towards the end of October, which is a couple of weeks later than usual, I think. But I'm looking forward to it because we're going to get back to normal. We'll have the two-leg games as well, which means we've got more chance of an incredible comeback, potentially, incredible comebacks even. We've seen it multiple times. Of course, you said last year we had the 2 comebacks that happened. And I'm looking forward to it. Like, looking at the chat, Roman says, one leg is better in my opinion. Teams have to step up where I feel like in some games, teams will play casually in one game because they have an away fixture where they can build goals. One leg makes the game interesting, but the logistics are too much.
I think that's what it comes down to. I think trying to make it work is extremely difficult before trying to the thing is, has the Champions League really ever been broke to the point of, let's be fair, we wouldn't have been harrying for one-legged fixtures had this never been a thing.
Yeah, so
it's like no one's moaned before, but the moment we've got a taste of something different, we're kind of like, oh, but this would be quite interesting for the future. It's like, I think if it doesn't change, I don't think it really matter if it doesn't change. I don't think it will.
I don't think it would. I think for UEFA, it's a loss of revenue for them as well. You're cutting a hell of a lot of games out. Just think of how many quarterfinals and semi-finals, double-legged matches that they'd lose like that. Round of 16, you've lost 8 games instantly just there, and that's just the Champions League. You'd be losing 16 in the round of 32.
And the tournament would be so much shorter. And is that what we really want? Like, I kind of this is okay because there's a game per day, and obviously it's a make-do kind of tournament, so it's successful. But I kind of like the whole you pick a game to watch on the round of 32, and like next year when we all do it, we can all kind of pick a game and cover that. And I think it will be better to have more games over a longer period, just to make to keep the interest of the tournament. Because I don't want it to be over with. Because this tournament's lasted 2 weeks?
About that.
Do we really want a month-long Champions League knockout stage? No, I think I like it going over 2-3 months.
It's the anticipation, it's the excitement of if you are winning a game 2-0 or you're losing a game 2-0. Look at Liverpool fans when they were 4-0 down to Barcelona. They never gave up. They believed they were going to get back into it. And they absolutely did. And I just think you wouldn't get as many incredible European nights with a one-leg system as you would with a two-leg system, which is why I'm looking forward, of course, for it getting back to normal next season and having that real two-legged games where if the team is 2-0 down, there's always that potential chance that they can get back into it again.
I think it works for the likes of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup because the underdogs are so big underdogs, whereas there's not a massive gap between Lyon and the likes of, for example, Man City, as there is between Man City and Shrewsbury Town. There's a massive gap. Whereas with Lyon, yes, Man City spend bucket loads of money, stupid amounts of money, but the gap is probably that compared to that. So in terms of for the underdogs, there's not as many extreme underdogs in the likes of the Champions League. So I don't think it matters as much.
No, I agree with you on that one. And of course, we always kind of get 1 or 2 teams that go through to a quarters or a semis that you wouldn't have expected. Look at previous years. We had Ajax last year who made it through. We've had Atalanta, Leipzig, Lyon this year. I think it's the perfect year of the underdog. And the big clubs will say no. It's quite easy to say. The big clubs will not want it because it'll be a loss of revenue for them. It's not good for the fans. And just as we said before, I don't think that they'll do it. It's be a big loss of money for UEFA as well. But we've got plenty more content to still be coming on the channel with our Festival of Football 2020. There's lots more to come because you can see on the screen we've had our 2 semi-finals tonight. We are 45 minutes away from knowing who's going to be in that final against Sevilla. We'll be live on the 21st of August with that final, Sevilla versus Inter Milan or Shakhtar. Game kicks off at 8 o'clock. Coverage for that will be live from 7:30. A little bit of extra build-up for that one, and everybody will be in the building for that one, apart from Kieran, who said he probably won't be watching the Europa League. But who knows? Maybe he might have changed his mind in the next couple of days. Who knows on that one? And then, of course, starting tomorrow, we're back again, aren't we, Kieran? Because tomorrow night we've got Leipzig and Paris Saint-Germain.
Oh, positives of this, a game per day. And we are coming back again. And I'd say, Josh, we've spent a lot of these games together because we tend to like the same style of play.
It's the hipster games, isn't it, as I've called them. We love a hipster game, and that's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. We'll be live for that at 7:45. And then the dream duo of Kieran D and Rowan, they're back on the 19th of August for the other semi-final. Lyon taking on Bayern. We're live for that, of course, at 7:45, kick-off at 8 p.m. And then, of course, the final on the 23rd of August. That is going to be a great game of football once again. 8 p.m. kickoff will be live at 7:30 for that one. Everybody will be in the building for that game. And who knows who's going to win the Champions League. And of course, we'll know by that point who'll be playing in the Super Cup a few weeks later. And I clicked the wrong button there. There we go.
Yep, indeed. And who will take Liverpool's crown, which Chris Welch will not be happy about? There will be a new person on the trophy. It won't be null and void. It'll go. And just on the Champions League, I think Bayern Munich are the worthy winners. If they do manage to do it, they have been by far and away the best team in Europe and fully deserve the title.
He's got to be one of the greatest European Champions League runs from group stage to the final in history in terms of how they've beaten and smashed up teams. Well, we are back for the second half of this game between Inter Milan and Shakhtar. If you've missed the first 45 minutes, where have you been? It's not been the most enthralling of matches in the world, so you haven't really missed a great deal, but there has been a goal. It came quite early on in the game. It was Lautaro Martinez from a mistake from the veteran goalkeeper Andrei Piatov, meaning that Inter Milan are 1-0 up and just under 45 minutes away from a final. But Shakhtar, they've got work to do.
They do, and they know they can score goals. And as you say, this is the only game that they've had, however long without 3 goals in it so far. So we'll see if basically they've decided to stop scoring when me and Josh have put all the pressure on for a goal fest. That might be what have happened.
I hope not. I mean, it'd be nice in this kind of first 10 or 15 minutes just to score a goal, Extra time and penalties still could happen, but we've got to see because this Inter Milan side, they just look so calm and confident tonight.
Yep, that's just the thing. They look solid defensively, but look, the press is on now, and the young Bastoni does really well and leathers it off Gagliardini. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I tell you what, if you're watching the game, terrible play at the back there from Handanovic and Bastoni. I mean, Handanovic nearly just kind of rolled the ball into his own net, and then Bastoni has whacked it into Gagliardini, who's tried ducking and nearly gave away a handball as well.
Yeah, I think that's what they're complaining about. I mean, with how Bastoni hit it, I don't think he had any chance of getting out of the way. Even if he was, I mean, he did really well to skip past the attacker, but then hit it against his own player. So
that would have really been a massive stab in the back there for Gagliardini. I mean, he wouldn't have been able to have moved his hands anyway, but the way that handballs have been, he could have quite easily potentially given it.
I think that might be the first penalty I would have seen where it's been caused by their own team, just hitting it against each other.
Oh, God, but here comes Inter Milan on the attack. Oh, he's chipped it.
Wonderful. Piatov does fantastically well.
Lord.
Lautaro pickpockets the centre-half. They're both jumping for a bouncing ball. Lautaro does really well to get there first, spots Piatov off his line, goes for the chip, and a man that must be about half a century old has got the athleticism of a cat. Brilliant diving.
Fantastic. Considering the worrying 45 minutes he first had, that's fantastic. I mean, Cole's put, how is that not a pen? I mean, I don't know how they've not even gone to review it just to make sure, but
yeah,
that was beautiful.
Maybe it was because it came off, it hit off his own player. They thought it wouldn't have, I don't know. I can't explain.
We've got a corner here for Inter Milan. I'll let you take it away just in case your team scores.
Brozovic lifts it into the box. Lukaku rises, but it's great defending from Shakhtar, but it has fell to Lautaro, whose touch is lovely, strikes it. Piatov catches it after powering it against the floor, and it is a long ball forward, but there's only one man up there. I don't understand the game plan.
Yeah, it's a weird one. As time goes on, they're going to have to push here, Shakhtar Donetsk. I'm hoping my boys can do it. They've been so good attacking this whole tournament. Yeah, they can't seem to even have a shot at goal in this game so far, but that would have been very interesting if 2 minutes in the referee gave a penalty to Shakhtar, because it'd have changed the whole game up. But as I said, I think the important thing here is in this next kind of 10 to 15 minutes, they need to get a goal and really open this game up, because the longer the game goes on, if there's one side that I feel are very calm when it comes to defending, it's Inter Milan.
Yeah, they're really, really good at that 3 at the back system, and the fullbacks do drop in, as we've seen now, and it's a long shot again from Shakhtar, but that's what they've had to do. It's all they've got. It may take a wonder strike, Josh, to get back into this one, whereas we're used to some nice, intricate passing around the box, but they can't do that tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, we haven't had many wonder goals in this competition. In fact, we've had no long shots that have gone in throughout this entire tournament as of yet. So maybe this is the perfect opportunity to go for goal of the tournament. I mean, we've had some quality goals already throughout the Champions League and the Europa League, but no long-range efforts that have gone into the back of the net, yet.
That's a lovely ball from Ashley Young through to Lukaku. Lautaro's making the run. Lukaku's going to go his own with the right foot. It's his weaker foot. And he couldn't quite curl it into the bottom corner. But that run, I mean, the pass really from Ashley Young was absolutely fantastic into Romelu Lukaku. And his strength, as per usual, uses the defender as a shield to try to curl it round him, but went wide.
Hopefully, they can keep this momentum up because this first 5 minutes has been much better. Both teams going for it now. As I said before, Inter Milan 1-0. Although it sounds like a great result, they will probably be looking for a second goal in this game just to calm it down. And I don't like this defensive back line right now. They both look shaky. They
do. Bastoni did very well, though, there to scout where Tyson was going to go. And that long ball up to Lukaku works a lot better than it does up to Junior Moraes. I've got to admit, I don't think Moraes has the build that Romelu does to play that long ball style. And that's really what it has been. Give it to Lukaku and he'll get the passes to the men around him and they'll build from that. Good start.
Absolutely. It's been a very good start. As I said, hopefully keep up this momentum, really get this game going. And as we've said before, I think a lot of teams in that first half have been a little bit more quiet than we'd have liked them to be apart from that Bayern Munich game. But the second half, teams really start to come out and get a feel into the game and test these opposition sides, especially when they're 1-0 down. I tell you what, another poor bit of work from the back line.
Yeah, they're trying to go out from the back again. Lautaro slid in and he kept them packed in to the right-hand side corner of Piatev's goal. And it's a throw-in to Inter Milan. And with that pressure, Shakhtar just can't get out. They're going long ball, and that is not how Shakhtar want to play tonight. Ashley Young has it on the left. It's a poor ball by Ashley Young. And
the referee's given the advantage. Yeah.
Oh, no, he's given a foul. There we go.
There just needs to be a goal from Shakhtar mainly if we're wanting to see a bit more of an open game. As I said, Inter Milan, the second goal will probably kill this game off. Although, if it does go 2-0 down, maybe they could be the first team to have a goal, come back from 2 goals down. You never know. We haven't had it yet, as I said, but it's still 1-0. And it's been a much better 7 minutes, although the referee's giving the advantage here to Shakhtar.
De Vrij, I love Inter Milan. He has felt like amateur dramatic king. Honest to God, that is never going to hurt that much.
Well, you can see that the referee, he's just saying, yeah, not interested. Free kick there for Shakhtar, and it's right.
Moraes was shielding, and his flailing arm just kind of connects with the head of Godin, actually. And, he's been KO'd. It's terrible amateur dramatics from Godin. Unsurprisingly, the concussion squad hasn't come out because it wasn't bad at all.
No, I mean, he's up on his feet now. He's all right, as if nothing happened. But they will probably be looking to make a couple of fouls in this game, just really stop this Shakhtar side from getting any opportunities on goal. And what a poor touch there from Dodo, although he's going to get a throw in here just above the halfway line. Ashley Young giving it to them there. And, they're passing back here. They're taking their time. Back to Piatov again. Oh, don't do this passing around the back. He's hoofed it long this time. That's right. Good decision, although it has gone back to Inter Milan again.
Exactly. I don't think that it suits the long ball style of play, but Marlos has picked it up in the middle now, and you can see these big attacking players dropping deeper to just get a foot on the ball. And Tyson is wide left right now. It's not where you want your main men to be, but it's just a poor pass from Moraes again, and it's back to Inter Milan.
He's just not had many opportunities on the ball tonight, has he? That's probably his third, fourth touch of the game, I'd say. He's not had much to do at all.
And that Marlos ball came into him there. He went for the first time touch to the winger. Just sums up the performance. Went straight out of play for a Inter Milan throw-in. It has really been a poor performance, I've got to admit, from Shakhtar tonight. It's not the game we expected.
They need to do something. I think very soon I would expect the manager to make a couple of changes in this game. They've got some good players on the bench. Yevgen Konoplyanka, I think a couple of people will know him from the past for his time in the Bundesliga. This back these front fours looked really poor, and I've got to say another poor performance tonight from Marlos, who was so good in that first game.
Barella breaking into the box on the right side, he passes it across, good defending, but a lovely switch from the centre-back Bastoni to the wing-back D'Ambrosio. And I've got to admit, Bastoni put the cross in earlier where Martinez just missed it. Brilliant passer of the ball is Bastoni, the young centre-half from Inter Milan.
I think he's been one of the, apart from that opportunity in the first 2 minutes, he's been very calm tonight. You know, we saw him just before the end of the first half on the right wing trying to whip a ball in towards Lukaku, and it was a fantastic cross. And for a youngster, we talked about him at the start of the show, wondering why Milan Skriniar's not been playing much. He's proven himself tonight. Yeah.
I mean, I'm personally questioning why former Hull City legend Andrea Ranocchia isn't starting more games, but sadly that's just what happens.
10 minutes in, what have you thought this kind of beginning of this second half? I think Shakhtar haven't really changed up much at all since the first half, in my opinion.
No, I completely agree with you, mate. I think they've not looked dangerous. When they've had the ball, it's never been in dangerous areas. We had a long shot from Tyson, which is exactly what Inter Milan will want. They'll welcome that. You know, if you're going to beat us, you've got to score a worldie, because we're not going to allow you spaces in behind to play your game. And for Inter Milan, they started very well with Lautaro almost chipping Piatov and preying on a nervous Shakhtar and camping them back in their defensive third. So I've got to admit, Inter Milan been the better side, but when you're only one goal up, one goal for Shakhtar changes everything.
Absolutely, and it's the same thing again. I think Inter Milan, they've come out in this second half, and still the forwards don't seem to be able to have many opportunities on goal, which is where it could come back to bite them. You know, we're talking in this first hour that Shakhtar haven't been convincing, but if Inter Milan aren't taking their chances, it only takes one opportunity for Shakhtar to get a goal, and we're level again.
Yeah, and Tyson's giving away a foul there. Another breaking run from Bastoni. He loves getting on the ball for a centre-half, and he was really good breaking through the middle there. Tyson tracked him all the way, but gave away a foul just inside Shakhtar's half.
Well, you'd be thinking here, Chris Wilder, get him in your team, because overlapping centre-backs, he'd fit the system perfectly if you could sign a player of his quality.
I was about to say, they'll be paying a pretty penny for Bastoni, I've got to admit, after today's performance. And Young's on the left, cutting inside out, and that's definitely going to be a foul on Dodo, I think it is, the right back. Yes, it is.
Well, it's absolutely the right decision there. I thought Ashling was going to just chuck the ball away there. We've actually got a substitution finally happening for Shakhtar. Right time. They've got about half an hour of this game left, a little bit more, including additional time. And it's going to be Alan Patrick who's coming off. Yep. And on it comes Solomon. Will Pete, if you're in the building, he's on for half an hour.
Yes, Manos. I mean, I'm an Inter Milan fan in this game, but the Sports Corner love Manos Solomon.
I mean, he scored in that previous game against Wolfsburg 3-0. He was very good when he came on, and he's been a bright spark when he's come onto the pitch. I can see him doing something here, not necessarily maybe scoring, but really testing this Inter Milan backline, because he's been fantastic in this tournament so far. And no doubt, as I said, if Will is watching, he'll be loving when Solomon gets a touch on the ball.
And if he changes the game, there'll be limbs in Will Pete's household tonight, definitely. But Young is on the left now. He's coming forward. He's trying to go around the outside, but it's very poor. And Shakhtar can try and build from the back, but it'll go out for a throw-in.
I can see Willie's loving it. He's been. I can see he's delighted that Solomon has come on. There we go. It's for Solomon. He's definitely scoring. Well, if he could to send us to extra time and penalties, that would be fantastic. And games have been very poor to watch. I feel Shakhtar lacking any intent to get an equaliser. Inter have already won for me. I wouldn't say they're lacking intent. I just think Inter Milan's back line's been so good that they're finding it impossible to get any space to attack on goal. I wouldn't say it's a lack of intent. I think it's just how good and how well organised Inter Milan have been tonight.
I also think it's not won because it's only 1-0. They've not been able... Even, for example, if Shakhtar, they have been lacklustre tonight, I've got to admit, they've been rather poor, then you've got to put them to the sword. You know, if they're being so poor, you put the game to them, and then before you know it, you're 3-0 up and the game's over now. Sadly, for them, it's only 1-0. So this game can't be counted out yet because, as we said earlier, one wonder strike, say, from outside the box, and the game changes.
Absolutely. Even a change, a substitution, Solomon could do something. It only takes one opportunity. We could see, 10, 15, 20 opportunities from this Inter Milan side, but if they're not taking them, all it takes is that one chance from a Shakhtar player, and we could be talking about maybe extra time or Shakhtar, what would be an incredible comeback for them.
I will agree the game's been poor, though. I will agree.
Yeah, the overall game itself has been poor. I've got to say, attacking-wise, both sides have been really shoddy tonight. The goal from Inter Milan was courtesy of a mistake, and they've had opportunities to finish off this Shakhtar team tonight, but half an hour left. Who knows what's going to happen? It's one of these games where it's been poor to watch, but one goal could change everything.
Yeah, definitely. There was a ball down the wing there by Ashley Young again, so the onrushing Lautaro. I think he goes down very soft, and the referee spots it, and it's a throw into Shakhtar on the right-hand side. I haven't seen a player for Shakhtar, though, really bring the game to Inter Milan, and they've given it a ball away again. But so's Barella. See, that sums up the game. That period of 10 seconds, I think, sums up this game perfectly.
And well, if you give away a ball like that, they're coming forward now, Shakhtar. But you can see the players that are back, there's 5, 6, 7, 8 players back. And once again, it's going to be a situation here where Shakhtar are going to struggle to get into the box. They're so well organised. I mean, even Will said tonight, Antonio Conte's got his tactics bang on tonight, and he has indeed. But an opportunity here lost into the box. Watch Junior Moraes! It's a good save from Handanovic. And I don't know whether that would count as offside or not. He's giving the thumbs up there. It wouldn't have been offside. And that was the opportunity that Shakhtar needed to take.
Yeah, that was an absolutely brilliant ball in from the fullback. Moraes gets his head on it. And as we saw, I think that's the difference between the level of Lautaro. And I know Junior Moraes has had a great season, but he's not at the level. And it's straight at the goalkeeper. If he picks a corner there, it's 1-1. And as we say, Shakhtar, who've looked poor all game, would be back in it and back at 1-1.
And that could be the opportunity. I know it's not in the back of net. It could spur them on. They've seen now there's space that they can open in. Once again, we saw it in the first half with the ball to Dodo. They can exploit space with Inter Milan. They need to take their opportunities. And it was a bumbling ball around the box. It wasn't cleared straight away. Handanovic, Bastoni and Godin trying to just organise themselves while Junior Moraes, tried to kind of put the ball into the back of the net. But they can get through this back line, although Inter Milan are coming forward here.
They are. It's D'Ambrosio on the right-hand side. He's going to whip across him, but it will hit the defender and go out for an Inter Milan corner. That was the chance. That was the chance.
It was indeed. It was indeed. And as I said, is that going to spur them on? Or are they going to be looking back at that and thinking that was the opportunity that could have made it 1-1?
It's really, really crucial. And sadly for Junior Moraes, I think he'll look back on that one. He definitely could have done better. He headed it into the ground perfectly. But Handanovic does what he has to do. He's been at the top of the game for so long, and he does really well to get it clear. But the ball will be whipped in now for Inter Milan. Brozovic is standing over it. Hit the first man last time. He doesn't now. He aims for Lukaku. It's in the header. It's not. It's D'Ambrosio who heads it across the goalkeeper. And we talked about it. Shakhtar could have made it 1-1 at one end and Inter Milan make it 2-0 at the other. It's a fantastic cross by Brozovic. Aimed it at the back post where Lukaku and D'Ambrosio were waiting. The right back gets the header across Piatov. Wonderful goal. Inter Milan 2, Shakhtar 0.
Well, it just proves that was a decisive moment for them. What a lovely ball in there. D'Ambrosio, who he's put a bit of poor defending there. Look at the player who's trying to man-mark D'Ambrosio. It's impossible. It's just so much smaller than the Italian right-back. It's a fantastic header into the back of the net. And, well, Shakhtar have got a lot of work to do. I expect changes in a moment because this has been such a poor game for Shakhtar. And Piatov is blaming other players. And I tell you what, there's not much you could do in that situation. But if Shakhtar want to get back into this game, they would have to produce one of the greatest comebacks in Europa League history. They need 3 goals.
For me, D'Ambrosio at the back post, he just wanted it more than the full-back. He climbed above him. Lovely header from the right wing-back. And overall, Inter Milan now if they were sitting back before, I think they can sit back quite comfortably now. But we'll see after. But you admit Shakhtar have got to make some changes to try and get the flow back in their favour. But they come again. It's Lukaku, picks it up, blazes it over, but apparently it was offside, I think. Yeah.
Well, they need to watch out now. We said in the first half that when the first goal went in, the floodgates could open. They could open now. I think a couple of changes needed here for Shakhtar. Just bring on some young, fresh, vibrant players that can maybe do something in this game. And I tell you what, it isn't Shakhtar making the substitutions here. It's actually Inter Milan. I think Baragi's coming on for Ashley Young. And if I was Shakhtar, get some changes on now and really do something in this game, because if you can get one goal back in this match, we're on the 65th minute, anything can happen.
Yeah, I think Baragi will offer you less going forward than Ashley Young will. I think he'll do a really professional left-back job. He'll go forward when he needs to, but I do believe that defensively he might be a little bit better than Ashley Young. And Conte, again, is just going to shore it up and set up shop and go to a Europa League final.
Absolutely. 25 minutes left of this game, a little bit of additional time. They've got to go for it now, Shakhtar, and they've had plenty of opportunities. That Junior Moraes goal, if that had gone into the back of the net, it would have been a very, very different game, but they've got so much work to do. And with balls like that, you're not going to do anything there. And just looking at the goal again, Brozovic, who I've got to say hasn't really been... It's been very quiet tonight. Fantastic ball into D'Ambrosio, and it's a lovely finish. And Conte knows there the difference in his celebration from the first to second goal. He knows that might be the winning goal. As for the Shakhtar manager, he needs to do something because time is running out.
Yeah, and I think tonight Inter have been the better side. We'll have to see a massive turnaround in performance from Shakhtar in this second half, and even Stepanenko, he's falling backwards as he gets that header, and there's just spaces now. Gagliardini, he's driving through the middle. It's a heavy touch, but he manages to get the ball out to Baragi, who skips inside, and the shot was terrible, but I'm not sure of whether that was a foul or not. I disagree.
I don't know on that one. I need to see the replay there. I was too busy trying to see whether Baragi was going to score, and there's not much he can do there, really. He's gone in for the ball. No. I think that's a bit harsh.
Lovely nutmeg from Baragi, but his shot was horrendous anyway, so I'm glad it didn't get counted.
Absolutely. Looking at the comments right now, Kieran's put, commentators are awful on BT, no passion. They literally just went, it's 2 now in a completely monotone. It's a Europa League semi-final. And Alexa's put, Inter being the better side from the start, I think they deserve to go through. Inter Sevilla is going to be full of shithousery, and I love it. Bristol CFC blog says, vlogs sub to my channel. No, because Bristol are irrelevant and they will never make it into the Europa League, so get blocked.
Birmingham. It's Birmingham.
I did say Birmingham.
You said Bristol.
Both sides are irrelevant. But with 20 minutes left of this game.
Both sides are irrelevant.
They're not in the Europa League right now. It's Inter and Shakhtar.
No, sorry, BCFC. They're not going to retire D'Ambrosio's number for 1 goal in the Europa League like Jude Bellingham. Even though he didn't even have a goal in the Europa League. He just played 1 season.
Well, there's a free kick here for Shakhtar. They need to make something of this. 20 minutes left. If they could get something in this game out of nowhere, exactly what Inter Milan did in the first half, who knows what could happen? I mean, it's a big, big ask. They haven't got many players who are tall who can head this into the back of the net, but who knows?
They've had no chances from open play. And this is their first set piece, really. So we'll see if they can create something. This might be their best chance. Marlos, fall in.
Ball.
Did it touch a head, though? No.
I don't think it did. And it's a poor ball from Marlos. He's been shite tonight, and I'm putting that very nicely. He's been really poor, not done much at all. He was really poor in that Basel game as well. And if I was the Shakhtar manager, you've got 20 minutes left. Get the substitutions on. You've got 4 more subs you can make. They've got plenty of other players they can bring on, Kovalenko being one of them. Change this game up.
They've got to do something. They've got to do something. It's not been good enough tonight. And to be fair, again, credit Antonio Conte. His side's been better. I don't think Inter have been at their best by any means, but they've just been a lot better than Shakhtar have tonight.
Absolutely. It's not been the most convincing game, but let's be real. That's how Inter Milan have got through the entire tournament since the return. Yeah. They weren't necessarily convincing against Getafe. They weren't necessarily convincing against Leverkusen. and they haven't been that convincing tonight. But the quality of the team that they've got has really come up trumps. I mean, Fernando's put the shade. Well, don't come in and ask people to subscribe to your channel. Simple as.
That is it. We will do videos and ask you to subscribe to our channel.
Exactly.
We don't mind you putting comments, putting anything. Don't promote yourself, because you know what? We probably will check you out eventually if you're in the stream long enough. You know, Bernardo's been on a stream with us before. We love talking to everyone, but we don't use it as a promotion tool. We're not. Go use someone bigger. Go to PewDiePie.
If he's sub for sub, we'll allow it, because we get a sub back. You know, he's fair in that extent. But no, I blocked him anyway. If we know you, we'll subscribe. But we don't just accept people straight away.
No, and as we say, we're more than happy to talk to people if you want to put a comment for the. Don't think we're that mean to everyone. We're not.
No.
Josh is.
But I am. I mean, if you're going to be, it's the equivalent of being a hooker on YouTube, isn't it? Just walking in and saying subscribe. Like, no, I'm not going to do it. Go away. Fuck off. It is the hookers of YouTube. That's what it is right now.
Sure. Oh. Sure. I mean, if we've learned anything from this semi-final, it's a good ball to Lautaro. He's touched off to Lukaku. Very central. And from hookers to a goal almost, as Lautaro and Lukaku interlink play really well. He backheels it to Lukaku, but he's straight at Piatov. Unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable there. Here comes Shakhtar on the attack again. I mean, Bernardo's put don't advertise another chance. That's why. Absolutely, buddy hooker. Right, back to the game again. Godin trying to clear his lines. He does indeed.
Oh,
and Bernardo. Long.
You know what we're like, Bernardo. We're more than welcome to talk to people.
Oh, God. Here coming to Milan on the attack again. Well, as said perfectly before, they're taking their time now. There's no rush. 18 minutes left in this one. 2-0 up to the good. There is no rush from this side. And, well, if there's one team, and if there's any actually league, to be honest, that are good at defending, it's the Italian league, isn't it?
Yeah, and Baraghi there kicking the ball out of play, knowing he was offside. Very much shithousery at its finest from Inter Milan, and I expect nothing less. Time's running out now. Time's really running out for Inter Milan, and that shot from Lukaku, too central. He's got to pick a corner.
Yeah, I mean, Kieran's subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys.
Right, ban him.
Get him gone. Get him gone. I think this will be a very, very dead now. 20 minutes left, 20 minutes. We're 73 minutes in. There'll be a little bit of additional time.
Terrible touch. Sorry to cut you off, but and they're through again. It's Lautaro, goes for the strike. It's 3-0, and they are honestly the architects of their own downfall. It's double for Daddy Martinez, and it is 3-0 to Inter Milan. By the way, Daddy Martinez is an inside joke for all the Sports Corner boys. If you don't understand, it's okay.
It's game over now. They've given up Shakhtar. They should have made some changes, I think, when the second goal went in, just to try and change it up. I mean, you can see right now he's shaking his head. He's disappointed right now, and well, it's been a poor performance from Shakhtar tonight. The attacking display we'd usually expect from this side throughout the tournament has been poor, and Stepanenko giving the ball away. He's been the whole team just looks nervy tonight, and it's probably their biggest game in the last couple of years. It's understandable, but you can see tonight why Inter Milan deserve to be in that final, and what a game we're going to have, Inter Milan versus Sevilla.
Yeah, and it's a lovely finish by Lautaro Martinez. He finds the corner perfectly. No stopping that. Piatov's been poor at points tonight, but there is absolutely no stopping that finish from Lautaro Martinez. And again, Stepanenko, more experienced member of the team, and he's let his side down. And this game, if it wasn't over before, it is now.
And well, we finally have a change. What a fucking pointless change this is. He's doing it when they're 3-0 down, not 2-0 down. Marlos coming off, Conor Plianka coming on. And why has he not made the change when the second goal has gone in? At that point, bring on a change or two. You've got 4 changes left. He brings on one player. Change it up at this stage when it was 2-0. 1 goal, change it. They always say to you, 2 goals is never a good lead, because you get 1 goal back, you can change it up. But at this stage, Konoplyanka comes on, and for me, it's a little bit late. It's what happened with Man U last night, when Man U fans were begging and begging for Ole to make changes, and he left him late. And Shakhtar have done that again tonight.
Yeah, they have indeed. And again, it was almost the same thing. Stepanenko got drilled a ball, and he went for a first-time ball. It went straight to an Inter Milan player. They've just not been able to get a foothold in this game since that mistake from Pyatov early, and they haven't really created anything.
Absolutely, it's been really, really poor tonight. Just long shots, and it's a shame. And I said, what a credit to Shakhtar for getting this far in the competition, because nobody expected them to make the semi-final. There was a very distinct set of teams that people expected to be towards this stage of the competition. It was Inter Milan, Man United, Leverkusen, Sevilla, Wolves, Roma. Those types of teams were the ones that people expected to make it this far. And Shakhtar, who, you know, credit to themselves to get this far, is really good, but they've really disappointed tonight. And I wouldn't say they've necessarily let themselves down, because to get to this stage is incredible for them, but they needed to do so much better tonight.
Yeah, the thing is, Inter Milan had the quality. They needed to be as close to 100% performance as possible to get past this team. And for me, they've not even kicked past 50% tonight. And yes, that might be due to Antonio Conte's tactics and really nulling the big players up top. But one chance is all they've had all game. And credit to Inter Milan, really, but
it's the golfing class. It is a real golfing class. You can see, Shakhtar, they are still, realistically speaking, a big European side, but you can see the difference between a big European side and a big European side. We're talking about one of Europe's elites here. Inter Milan, either way, if they don't win this competition in the final, they're still in the Champions League. Either way, they finished second in Serie A, and they've been fantastic in this tournament. Even if they've not been necessarily convincing, they've done what they've had to so far. And Alexa just said perfectly there what we were saying before. Shakhtar, they can still be proud of their season, but this performance will leave a bitter taste in their mouth, because no doubt tonight they will want to come into this game and prove themselves.
It's what we said about Leverkusen. It's like they've had a decent year. They just missed out on Champions League, so this was the chance to avenge that. And when you get this far in a tournament, you want to win it. And that is a terrible ball again, and it's been gifted to Lautaro Martinez. He skipped past one,
switched off, and they have switched off. The problem is now this starts to become a little bit embarrassing. 3 goals now, and I shouldn't be getting pissed off, because I'm not theoretically speaking a Shakhtar fan, but what pisses me off about this performance is time and time and time again, it's been poor passes straight to the Inter Milan players. And the problem is now it starts to become from being a bitter performance to slightly embarrassing when you're giving the ball away. That's the 4th time they've done it now.
It's exactly a bit like Barcelona the other night. They never learn. They have done this 3 times tonight. There was 1 goal, and it was a D'Ambrosio corner. That was the only goal that hasn't come from a Shakhtar mistake. It's poor again from Konoplyanka. Lautaro finds Lukaku, who finishes it beautifully with his left foot. Don't take anything away from the finishes of Lautaro and Lukaku, but it has come from Shakhtar mistakes, and they've shot themselves in the foot on their biggest European night in a long time.
And that's Lukaku's 10th goal in a row in the European stage. Of course, incredible for him. I've just seen in the chat from Kieran in the Facebook one, Shakhtar shout, how do they get far playing like this? I'm going to guess that is bait, because I think that's bait more than anything. But I mean, Lex has put it perfectly. Shakhtar is at their mercy right now. They've totally collapsed. The thing is, you cannot switch off. There's 12 minutes of this game left. We saw what Barcelona did. They switched off. They didn't care. Because they were losing by such a large margin. And quite easily now, you could see in the next 10 minutes, we could be saying at the end of this, full time Inter Milan 5, 6, 7. Just go out there and play for pride. That's all you need to do now. Play for pride. Don't concede anymore. If you get a goal, fantastic. You've scored against Inter Milan in a semi-final. But every single time, they've given the ball away, and it's become slightly embarrassing the more goals that go in.
Yeah, it is. And again, that glimmer of hope of a good season that they once had. You don't want to tarnish that with a massive defeat here tonight.
Kira did put big bait. I thought it was.
Yeah,
I'd be a bit worried if it wasn't.
You did well. You did well not to bite on it, mate. You did well. You did well indeed.
We know Kieran. I know what he's like. I thought it was going to be a bit of bait. And just to make matters worse, there's two players coming on. Victor Moses is coming on, which is a little bit more attacking than D'Ambrosio. Just to put the icing on the cake, Christian Eriksen has come on now. He's been coming on towards the end of the games in the Europa League. And if there's one player you didn't want to come on, it's probably Christian Eriksen, who can feed the balls into Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez, who is actually coming off, which means that we might see one up top now. Or, to be honest with Conte, he'll probably put Eriksen up top.
He won't get a hat-trick now. He had a chance to get a hat-trick. It's poor from Antonio.
It's a case of resting players now. A couple of days.
Yeah. Antonio Conte's got his tactics all wrong there. It's all wrong tonight. He can't sub off Lautaro Martinez. That's sacrilege, that is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lexus put, to be fair, Shakhtar, they were in the semi-finals 4 years ago, so it's not like they haven't played these games with this core. Absolutely. I mean, the thing is with Shakhtar is a lot of these players are from 4 years ago as well. These are some of them players like Stepanenko, he was there, Piatov was there, Tyson, Marlos. They have played on the biggest stage before, and I guess it's just been disappointing tonight. They've switched off, and as you said before, Alexa, it's a bit of taste in the mouth, and at this stage, they'll just want this game to finish and go back to Ukraine.
Yeah, I think it's a case of a lot of these players, the heads have definitely dropped since that second goal from D'Ambrosio, and since then they've been. The thing is, this is almost another hospital pass across the back line there, and they really aren't learning at all. They've been the cause of most of these goals. They'll look back on tape and think they only really got one goal, which wasn't coming from ourselves. So,
absolutely. I mean, Inter Milan trying to pass around the back here, and you can see the players pressing forward, maybe to get a consolation goal at best. They've got the ball back right now, Shakhtar. Maybe they can get something here, make it 4-1 with 8 minutes to go, although it'll be a consolation at best. Konoplyanka, one of the substitutes, can he do something here? That 30 yards out. It's a lovely pass towards... Oh, man, he's so poor. Dodo taking opportunity out from about 30 yards, and it's a low ball. It's a P-roll, as you'd say, that's gone straight to the Inter Milan back line, and it just proves how poor they've been tonight. I mean, Alexis put, you can have a bad night, but you can't tactically and psychologically collapse like this. I can remember United getting destroyed by Barcelona in 2011 in the Champions League final, but they didn't collapse tactically or psychologically. They just weren't good enough or smart enough. Beating yourself is the worst thing in sport, and you're absolutely spot on.
That's the thing. In terms of, they'll look back and, sometimes you'll go, how could we have stopped this goal? How could we have stopped that goal? They'll look back and just go, if we made passes, and Lukaku's coming again this time, he's going...
it's lovely from Lukaku. It's lovely from Lukaku. Outstanding from Lukaku.
Wow. Lukaku has a double. He's joined Martinez, and he just took the centre-back on for pace, believed he could beat him. And when Lukaku is at his free-flowing best with his strength, his pace, his power, he is unstoppable. And this is a collapse from Shakhtar Donetsk.
Well, that is an absolutely outstanding goal from Lukaku. His pace there. There is no stopping Romelu Lukaku. Look at the opportunity. He turns. Who said about his first touch? It's fucking brilliant because he goes past the defender. His speed, his spot on Piatov. He's pretty much one-on-one with him. He's not going to save it. And this is becoming embarrassing now for Shakhtar. They've switched off. And I could seriously see more goals going in here. 5-0 into Milan. What a performance tonight. And I tell you what an incredible final we're going to have between Inter Milan and Sevilla.
It was one touch, and he was past Kokalava as if he didn't exist. And
Kieran's put, where is that at Old Trafford?
I mean, I think he was really overly criticised. And now he won't get a hat-trick because he's off as well.
I assume we'll be bringing on Alexis Sanchez in a moment.
Yeah, I think Romelu Lukaku, he's found his home at Inter Milan, and he's absolutely... Oh, it's Esposito.
Let's give the young Italian a go. Fair play to him. He might as well at this stage. And as I said before, it's the case now. Just rest the players up. Make sure none of these players get a last, late minute injury into this game. Sorry, last minute injury or anything like that. And well, it's been poor. It just proves that Shakhtar just don't care anymore. No changes from the manager. No changes at all. Just the one change from Konoplyanka coming on. It just proves that the heads have gone down, and 5-0 down. It's becoming embarrassing now for Shakhtar, and it's a real shame.
Sensi is on as well for Brozovic, and now 5 minutes to go, and that is definitely 5 minutes too long if you're a Shakhtar Donetsk fan. You might have wanted it to end after 60 minutes, but it really is. It's going to be, from a European journey to remember, this may leave a dark cloud over the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It's disappointing because, as I said, they've been poor tonight. I think a couple of substitutions when they went 2-0 down and to be fair, at half-time, could have made a substitution or two, just to change things up. And you can see when that third goal went in, the heads have dropped. They've done pretty much what Barcelona did now, and they're coming forward again here. It's a lovely ball into Esposito. It could be an opportunity. He's onside. He's cutting in. Lovely work from Esposito. He's still going Esposito. Oh, he's missed it. Well, if that was an opportunity to mark your name in in the Europa League at your young age, that would have been an outstanding goal from Esposito, and he's hit the side netting. I
swear I thought it was off. If we look again,
he's on.
Oh, he's very tight. It's very tight, but he kept going, as he should do, and he took... I thought he was going to shoot there, and he just kept jinking side to side, cutting the ball back, and he just found the side netting as we thought he was 6.
Well, I mean, Eriksson there, I think, just wanted the kid to have a go. He didn't call for it. He could have easily squared it to the Dane, but it's a lovely opportunity for him. And, well, it would have been a fantastic goal, coming on after a minute or two, getting a goal. The young Italian striker who has had a couple of opportunities this season at Inter Milan, and it's a shame he couldn't get that into the back of the net, because that would have been an outstanding goal to make it 6.
No, but Inter really haven't took the foot off the gas. They've been... we wonder where this was in the first half, because we said they couldn't finish teams off. Now they are all guns blazing, and they really are crucifying Shakhtar.
Well, this is what you wouldn't expect from Italian side. The standard approach is usually expect is for them to just sit back and hold the game off. They're pretty much doing what Bayern did, just going out there, scoring as many goals as they can. And can you blame them? Get the confidence up, because if you're Sevilla tonight, I know Shakhtar have been very poor, but they look really up for it. And especially now Martinez has got a goal to his name, and in fact 2 goals. Could that be the difference maker? Could this be the game where Inter Milan finally have got their 2 strikers in form ahead of what's going to be a great final?
Yeah, and what a confidence builder for them as well. They've really, really turned it up this second half, and the quality difference has been quite obvious in the second half.
Absolutely. And it's a shame. It's another game where we haven't got extra time or penalties. It looks like we're going to have to wait for that for the final. Unless, of course, the Champions League games bring us that, which we'll talk about that after the game finishes. But they're looking back at Lukaku's goal. It's just outstanding. I mean, he's pretty much nutmegged Piatov, and it's a brilliant, brilliant finish. And, well, Conte, absolutely delighted. If there's any questions about his future at Inter Milan, they need to be squashed away, because he's been absolutely incredible for him. Why would you want to change your manager up after such an incredible season at the club?
I don't think he will. I don't think. And I think they really do have a good chance of winning this tournament. I think it'll be a really good game between them and Sevilla, but they'll fancy the chances after a game like tonight. But both teams are coming in after really, really good performances. So it's just going to make for a really brilliant final, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's going to be a very interesting game for sure. I mean, Inter Milan are coming forward again here. Still got the ball. Eriksson's trying to push forward. It's lofted long to Victor Moses. I mean, if you're letting Victor Moses score here, then it really is an embarrassment. He's going to lay it low into the path of Esposito.
Esposito wins a corner. Wins a corner, does Esposito, the young man.
Just end this game for them. It's getting embarrassing now. I think there'll be 2 or 3 minutes of additional time. Maybe the referee might do what he did against Barca and just not give any additional time to stop the embarrassment.
I think I would like them to just not add any time, to be honest. Just let the damage be done. But Eriksson, great dead ball specialist.
He might as well just go for the corner and just shoot.
Yeah, whips the corner in. Header. What a save by Piatov. It was a foul, apparently, by Gagliardini. I didn't see it myself, but good header on goal. Piatov was equal to it, but it could have been 6.
It's a good save for him there. As you said, it was a foul anyway, so it wouldn't have counted, but it was a lovely save there from Piatov. Good header from Gagliardini. pushes it away from the goal, but it's a shame they've conceded 5.
Yeah, comfortable height for Piatov, but no one been at the best tonight for Shakhtar at all. Like, I couldn't tell you a man of the match for them tonight, I think. And that game is over. They did it at time. And I'm not surprised. There was no need to. Don't let it last longer than it needed to. It was a rout in the end. Shakhtar can be proud of how far they've come, but it will leave a really sour taste in the short run. I think if you reflect in a couple of weeks, barring this game, it was a great run, but it's just sad for it to come to an end this way.
Absolutely. I think any side that makes it to a semi-final will start to believe that they can go on and win it, no matter who they're facing, whether it's a big side or a minnow side. And of course, Inter Milan were the favourites to pretty much win this competition. They're still in it. What an incredible performance tonight. As for Shakhtar, as you said, it will leave a better taste in the mouth. But the Ukrainian League, they'll go back, they'll get those games underway, and it'll be quickly forgotten about. It's a shame it's ended like this for them because they've been incredible. They're the underdogs of the tournament, but they've really let themselves down tonight. And as Alexis said, Inter with a 10 out of 10 performance, Shakhtar 0 out of 10. I really don't think you could give a man of the match to any player on the pitch tonight. As for Luis Castro, he's shaking the hands of the assistants there because, well, they're going back home now and it's disappointing for them. As for Inter Milan, they've got a final against Sevilla.
I mean, as a football fan, we want to see the best teams facing the best teams. And so far, Sevilla are arguably the best team in Europa League history, the amount of times they've won it. But this hot streaking Inter Milan side, I put them as favourites when they dropped from the Champions League, and they're proving me right so far. So they're one step away from silverware.
Absolutely. And what a big piece of silverware that would be, as you said before. It's going to be a great, great match because very, very shortly, in fact, in a couple of days' time, 4 days from today, you'll be able to see the final of that game, and we'll have that watch along live. It's Sevilla versus Inter Milan, 8 o'clock kickoff for that. We'll be live from 7:30. Pretty much all the boys will be here, hopefully, for that game. We'll have build-up and we'll all be watching it together. What could possibly go wrong? So that is the Europa League final. And then we've still got more semi-final action because we're back tomorrow night. Me and Kieran, we love a watch-along together. We've got an incredible game, Leipzig versus PSG. What a game that's going to be. We'll be live at 7:45 for that match. And then the day afterwards, it'll be Kieran D and Roman, the Dream Duo. They're back, and they've got Olympic Lyon versus Bayern. Can Lyon beat Bayern, or will the favourites batter them up? That's on the 19th of August, 8 p.m. Both games will have build-up for that from 7:45. And then, of course, the final on the 23rd of August, at 8 p.m. for that kick-off. We'll be live from 7:30, building up to that game. Well, what an incredible performance it was tonight from Inter Milan. It's been unconvincing, you could say, over the last couple of weeks, but they have put Shakhtar to the sword, 5-0. The question is, we've got to ask the question now, Kieran. Who do you think is going to go on and win it?
I can't, Josh, you don't have to ask me. You know full well my heart's been with Inter Milan the whole way through the tournament. And once they beat Leverkusen, for me, I think they were really pole position to win the whole thing. And now they just have to go and win it. It may have come in different circumstances, but the right team will win it when Inter Milan prevail.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that one. I think they will win it. But as we said before, Sevilla, they've got history in this competition. You never know what's going to happen. Of course, Rowan is going to be supporting Sevilla, says Mon the Sevilla. Alexis, but shame that the Champions League qualifiers at the same time as PSG Leipzig. Going to have to pull a multi-stream. Go on, Alexa. We love to see it. Good work, man. Good work. So we will be back tomorrow. It's us two again, the dream duo, you could say. Of course. And then Kieran D and Rowan, they'll be back with the Champions League semi-finals. Who knows what could possibly happen? Because we've got a final. Well, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? Not just with the game, but with them too. It's always crazy with them. We have.
When it comes to the Champions League, we should have knew it was never going to be a tournament like any other. I mean, if 2020's thrown you one thing, it's nothing is normal. And Lyon and Leipzig could be a possible Champions League final.
But the thing is as well, we could have an all-French final. Or we could have an all-German final as well. I mean, I'd love to see a Bayern-Leipzig final. That would be an incredible game. Those teams really do go for it. But who knows? We're going to find out over the next couple of days. So there we go. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, Kieran.
Thank you very much for hosting a brilliant stream again.
Thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow to again for that game between Leipzig and PSG. But as for tonight, it really is Inter's night. They put Shakhtar to the sword. They didn't just put them to the sword. They absolutely battered them. We'll see you tomorrow for the Champions League semi-finals. As for now, have a great rest of your evening. If you are new, as always, do leave a like and a subscription. We'll see you tomorrow night. See you later.